what is going on, you beautiful bunch of savages. This is UFC 5 Community Day Tournament. We have an incredible event hosting $1,500 prize for the Xbox division here this evening, split across 4 of the top leagues here on UFC 5, but ESFL, ourselves, of course, Primetime MMA, NEC, and the mighty GFC in the building here this evening. We're not going to waste too much time. We are stylishly late as always, so we are going to get into this very first fight starting on the left-hand side of the bracket. We're going to be having one of what many people would consider the GOATs of this community, Fadnator, starting off against Mega Tony, who's trying his damnedest to be the dark horse and get a W over a very, very formidable threat here this evening. I will say, joining me in the booth, we have Jakey B. We, of course, have Slayer. How are you doing, lads?
Yeah, man, feeling good. Finally on the booth with a man himself who spent a long time watching, my man Cyrus, and obviously in the building as well with GFC. So yeah, buzzing for it. Some good fights. Big fight for Mega Tony here. Going to be very tough. But yeah, man, feeling good. Looking forward to it.
Well, look, everybody has. I thought that was me for a second. Almost had a heart attack. They touched them up. There was a little bit of a higher connection between these two guys. I'm assuming that. Oh my goodness, Fadnator out of the gates lands the uppercut. Even with connection problems, Slayer, he's not wasting any time. He's trying to make this a quick night.
Hey, it's $1,500, man.
Crazy start from Fadnator, coming out early. A lot of people would say the favourite for this after a few names withdrawing from the event, like Goat 1099, due to some scheduling issues. So a lot of pressure on Fadnator to win this one. All the way, you know, a lot of guys already saying that this is his to win. Probably the biggest stamp in accomplishments for Fadnator. I know he's obviously champion in the NEC, multiple champion in Primetime MMA, Xbox Division champion in the ESFL, but you know, $1,500 prize pool could be the biggest list of accomplishments for him. So
yeah, absolutely. He's done so much in this community. You know, to be honest with you, he, for the longest times, you know, especially like from my perspective in Primetime, he was just the bogeyman of that division. He held on to that belt like nobody could. When he stepped away a little bit after taking a little bit of a stumble, 1 or 2, you know, small losses, decided to take a little bit of a break. The title changed hands a number of times, and it was like a completely different division. I'm not going to lie to you. So it's great to see him back and competing and seeing what he does best, Slayer, which is just absolutely, you know, put that belt to ass and try to tear apart his opponents. He's already had a great start, got full mount, and the ground and pound is just raining, brother, thick and fast.
And Mega Tony is struggling to defend it too. He is just being ruthless.
Back to the feet and a big cut already on Mega Tony. Very tough fight for him, you know. Like we were saying about the pressure of Fadnator winning the whole thing, the same amount of pressure on Mega Tony just to win this fight. Very tough as we see him hit the deck again, and you got to ask Cyrus, how long really has he got left?
Yeah, I'm just hoping that this game doesn't cut out, because that'd be a shame after the start the Fadnator's had. But these guys are fighting, as we like to say, at high altitude. The connection is giving them a bit of difficulties here this evening, but just non-stop onslaught.
Yeah,
barrage.
I mean, look, it's one thing to fight against Fadnator. It's another thing when you're adding connection problems on top of that, and then when he's just beating you up, Slayer. I mean, that's a tough old time. I'm not gonna lie.
And Mega Tony looks like he is just hesitating because he's just throwing right hook, left hook, right hook, left hook.
I think we didn't speak about Slay. What do you think about the Dos Anjos pick against this Islam Makhachev that we know is very, very powerful in this division? Obviously, we've recently had some other fighters added, like that 100 power Conor McGregor. Oh, and a flying triangle attempt. A nice denial from Mega Tony. But what do you think of this RDA pick?
Honestly, I wouldn't have picked an RDA pick against, especially someone on Fadnator's level. Like, RDA would not have been my choice. I would have picked someone with a lot better chin, a lot better defense against Islam, because I mean, Islam is a beast in his own weight class as it is already.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, a GOAT pick for a GOAT fighter, absolutely Fadnator, not taking anybody lightly here this evening. No, some built-in excuses, but look, MBK Mega Tony was ice skating uphill here this evening. He had a tough old pick in that first round, and I don't think that going RDA benefited him a lot. Like you say, that chin can be compromised a little bit early, but obviously he's a very diverse fighter, RDA, so maybe he was trying to kind of think of some of the grappling opportunities, but anybody that's watched Fadnator knows that this man is just going to put an onslaught of damage on you. On the feet, on the mat, it doesn't really matter, so getting that chin checked early, getting that chin checked early was not a good time for him, I'm not going to lie to you. That was a beautiful performance for the one and only Fadnator to start off. As you can see, he now advances to the second round of this tournament. We're about to find out who he will be fighting up next. I'm going to struggle to say these guys' names, so Rex, you're going to know how to say it, Jakey. Yeah, that's the one, okay. And MK442. Now, I'm not as familiar with these guys. It's been really nice since we've, of course, spread the kind of sign-ups across all of the leagues involved. There's a couple of familiar names that we see across all of the leagues, and then there's a couple of names that I haven't quite come across myself personally yet. So, do these guys fight in either GFC or NEC?
Rex fought in GFC. If Crucifix is watching, I'm sure he'll chime in the chat and give details about him. But Rex is an awesome kickboxer. He's won the belt for Xbox against even his old clanmate Kieran, and he's fought once against either Hey It's Fran or Ali ADP. But kickboxing wise, like he's definitely a dominant foe against it. I don't know much about MK though.
Yeah, Rep burst onto the scene. Part of that Regicide camp, I believe he was a part of them. Not too sure much about MK, but Rep very well versed, very dangerous on the ground, as a lot of them Regicide guys are. Breeze his first matchup with ease as he steps into this one, and probably the favourite in this one, Cyrus. Okay,
nice. Well, we'll get to see. Now, obviously, the tags are a little bit different. So, is Brainchild MK or is he Reps? No, Reps is the one on the right. Sorry, I'm blind. I'm absolutely blind. Okay. Long day, brother. Long day. Trust. Okay. Well, here goes nothing. Reps obviously using Brendan Moreno. We have the Figgy pick on the opposite side. Figgy's got that massive amount of power in those hands out here, Jakey, but Moreno's got cardio for days. On only 3 rounds, though, so you imagine, especially being in this lighter weight class, they're going to have to set a bit of a pace here this evening, and especially if you're Moreno, and try to kind of take the action to Brainchild to utilize that superior cardio.
Yeah, definitely these lighter weight classes calls for absolute carnage, combinations being thrown, but one thing there is to mention, there is $100 on the line for the fight of the night. And these are definitely the weight classes to do it in. The Figgy power, obviously always there. But, Brandon Moreno just so well-rounded. And, yeah, brilliant matchup. Nice to see no mirror match in this one, even though that is an available option. But, 2 fights so far, no mirror matches.
Ooh, and beautiful combo.
Big combos landing from Rep.
You know me, brother. I'm not a fan of those mirror matches out here, so I'm very happy to see we haven't had one so far. It makes my life. I understand it from a competitive standpoint, but these guys are obviously looking to get some different looks, utilize some different movements and some different techniques. I can see right now Brainchild is using really, really smart kind of lateral movement out here. Slayer kind of being very much in and out, trying to catch his opponent at the end of the punches. We've kind of got Reps chasing him right now. Like really following him instead of cage cutting, which may get him caught if he's not too careful.
Yeah, MK's been so far what I've noticed, he's definitely a more accurate striker at the moment, but Rex has actually been hitting his combos pretty nice.
Yeah, big combinations coming from Brainchild, looking to cause a big upset. It's good. A lot of these guys, MK, I believe he was one of them guys that just isn't a major competitor in the leagues at the moment. I believe he is in all the servers, but doesn't compete that much. That's why no one really on the comms booth is aware of Brainchild, but these tournaments are definitely a good footing for a lot of these guys to really make a name, and Rep is becoming a household name, and Brainchild, if he can take him out here, that's a big step in the first list of many accomplishments that he can achieve as a competitor.
Yeah, I mean, Reps is, you know, I feel like he's trying to make reads. He's throwing out really fundamentally sound combinations, trying to interrupt what MK is doing. But MK is fighting incredibly awkward, man. Some of these pulls and going to the body, I rate it highly, especially when you're going against some top, you know, kind of top guys, fighting unorthodox, showing them different blocks can cause problems. But Reps seems to make a read. Beautiful work.
Big spear, Cyrus gets him to the ground, and this is where I do praise Reps the most. He's very dangerous, wins over Suave Jamie in the NEC. Some very big wins on his resume, and a lot of it does come from this ground and pound onslaught. Very good at his denials. I think there is a little bit of a ping differential in this matchup, so it will make it that little bit harder for Rep to get them denials. But yeah, ended a round and a big round for Rep.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to know that he is somebody that does a lot of work on the ground, because he did a lot of that striking. He really only went for the takedown after he set up that right hand. So I'd be interested to see if he does that going forward, because I think that he started to get a bit of a read on the feet now, Slayer. Started getting a bit of success countering that unorthodox style, and now if he can get the game to what he does best, which is grappling, you know, he may be able to really start turning the tide in a big way and start kind of that momentum into a nice little victory for him.
Yeah, both their stamina looked pretty much even, so I would say as far as if they were to take it to the ground, yeah, it's even. I'm pretty sure it'd be relatively... I don't know Rex on the ground as much as you guys do, but I don't know anything about Brainchild either, so...
Well, round number 2 is upon us for these two gentlemen, Rep and Brainchild. Good first round for Rep, but some good damage from Brainchild, but... very unorthodox striking. You see them moving the hooks that does get him out of the range of that big counter shot from Rep. But Rep again, looking fun, like you said, Cyrus, fundamentally sound. Just sticking to his 2 pieces and his 3 pieces. Just there's a jab trying to get through that block. Oh, but a big combo there, Rips, and just really waiting his time, Rep, and doing a good job. And it should see him through the fight and a nice fake single. And yeah, just looking a little bit one step ahead of Brainchild here.
Yeah, Brainchild's throwing the same combo. Go ahead.
No, carry on, brother, by all means.
I was going to say, Brainchild's throwing the same combo quite a bit. I'm noticing that, and I think that's part of the read that Rex is making.
Absolutely. I mean, one of the things about these unorthodox fighters is a lot of people struggle with it. Like, he's using moving head movement. Like, a lot of people plant when they use their head movement, so he's trying to, like, move head movement and counter roll at the same time, and that can be a bit difficult for a lot of people to read. But Reps quite clearly is a traditional fighter in the way that he approaches this game. A lot of the things he's doing is very fundamentally sound. He's not being kind of overly I want to say kind of creative. You know, he's keeping it to what he knows, the simplest of strikes, and it's paying off for him. It's paying dividends because it's allowed him to make the reads.
Ooh, nice.
Now he's starting to counter. I mean, the most fanciful side of him is the feints that he's doing, and some of these takedown feints as well. It's been beautiful work from Reps. I'm actually really, really impressed with what he's been doing so far. To be able to adjust so quickly out here, Jakey, to this unorthodox style, which I think would have caused a lot of people problems.
Well, we did see Brainchild did eliminate Warbsy in the first round. Warbsy, obviously a veteran, and Warbsy did mention the style of Brainchild, very awkward to deal with. You know, they're moving backwards, body hooks and things like that. But Rep looking dialed in here on this and really teeing off. But, you know, that figgy power will still remain, so Rep cannot get too carried away. We've seen some bigger upsets. I believe Dirty Dave won upset of the season on Rep. I believe it was in the NEC in one situation where Rep was getting carried away and Dirty Dave was in a very bad spot and did come back and manage to win it. So can't get too carried away here, but looking very good to advance to play Fadinator in the next round.
Yeah, and Reps is not, so far what I'm noticing, Reps isn't really guarding his body at all. Every time Brainchild goes to the body, it's always been a hook.
Some people, it's like leg kicks, right? Some people don't really check them; they just decide to answer back, and you know, with their own kind of offense. And I feel like Rex is kind of doing that as well. He's like, instead of blocking the body, he's just punching his opponent's body back. He's used a lot of these lead hook, body upcuts, jabs, and stuff. So yeah, it's an interesting approach. I think Jakey was spot on though. Although Rex, you know, clearly in my opinion is ahead in this fight so far, it's not over by any stretch, and the unorthodox style of MK could still cause a lot of problems here this evening, especially with those kind of pulling hooks that he's been doing. One good connection, and I feel like he may have the, he may have the cheat code to get that finish very, very quick.
Well, round number 3 between these two gentlemen coming out. No touch of gloves, which is quite interesting to see. But Brett clearly 2 rounds up, a little bit, just over 4.5 minutes to work with 2 advanced to the next round. Good first 2 rounds, but like we do say, it is not always over. Just a lot of work on the block at the moment.
I was gonna say, yeah, Brainchild's block is...
Ooh, what a big rock into a big spear and sling up. Is there anything you think, is there any route to victory for Brainchild here?
To be honest, you can't even call it, because like Cyrus and you were saying earlier, like, people, they have upsets at the worst moments. They could be ahead 2 rounds and literally get ready to take the cake and just get flash KO just like that. But as of right now, it's not looking like it.
Very nice armbar, going to be sunk in nice and easily. Only going to need 1 more, maybe 2. You know how this goes, but I think 1 more and he may get it. He might go for it straight away. Nope, ground and pound.
Nice survival for Brainchild. Does go for his own knee bar, but very easily denied from Brett, and he does go to sink in that triangle. The leg is up, the triangle is synced in, and I believe that will be all she wrote, with a beautiful performance and a beautiful submission, Sarez. And yeah, maybe bit of ping, couple of subs, could be some problems for Fader in the next round.
I don't disagree at all, my man. That was a really solid performance from Rex. Now, of course, this was just the starting stage for him, and he drew the short straw, it would appear, by having to fight Fadnator in the next stage of the knockout rounds. But that was a great performance from him, and I feel like he may serve a credible threat to Fadnator. I think that anybody in this tournament, to be quite honestly, will have the ability to kind of be that dark horse. We've seen it many times. I mean, I'm sure you guys maybe have seen it in the past, but over at Primetime, at the beginning of each season, we run a Grand Prix at the beginning every single time, both on PlayStation and Xbox. And the amount of times you see like one guy that came in at rank number 16 or managed to get a short notice replacement to kind of fill in to make that top 16 spot, and comes through and places very highly or even wins it. It can be surprising. These tournaments, it's a test of will. It's a test of the commitment to the game, because you're not just out here trying to perform on that one fight. You've got to be able to take on everybody and adjust as the night goes on. Every single time you win, it's one step closer, but the task gets harder every single time.
Every single time, indeed. And when you take on everyone, you're looking at some massive names in this event. You're looking at Ed Parker, you're looking at Easy Work GG, Fadinator. A lot of big Xbox names that have been dominant across leagues this season. But yeah, so it is a good opportunity for a lot of these guys that are in the community. I think it's brilliant that we've all come together with all of our high-level fighters. Some do share, some don't. But to come across and, who's the best in the community? The community day, they're all here. And yeah, I think it's definitely going to be a fun one.
Absolutely, man. That's exactly the point. I mean, the fact is now that this is the who's who of anybody within the community, right? We've brought the entire community together between all of the major leagues involved, and we're going to get to see the literal creme de la creme of all of these guys. Only one can be the boss. Only one can ultimately walk away the victor, and it's an interesting time, man. It's an exciting time. We're only early on, but I'm still kind of a little bit surreal that we've kind of brought all of this together in such a short amount of time, and I'm just very interested, Slayer, to see how this all pans out. So we're not going to waste any time with it, my man. We're going to get into the next one. I will say that Ed Parker v Cam, it looks like Cam no-showed from what I'm seeing, so I believe that would be a bye for Cam. I will get a confirmation of that shortly, but I believe it is a bye from Cam, bye for Ed Parker, due to Cam no showing, unless he's able to shot very, very quickly within the next segment of this tournament. And it will move us on pretty quickly to Leon Stoltz up against Dirty Dave. Now, those are two names that have been around the community for quite some time out here, Jakey. Both have a lot of accomplishments in their own rights. I would say it's, from my experience, I haven't seen Leon fight personally in a little while, but absolutely phenomenal striker. And of course, we all know Dirty Dave is an absolute menace on the mat, and kind of, to be honest with you, all round, but especially on the mat.
Yeah, I can give you a lowdown on both of these guys. Both of these guys competing throughout the majority of my season in the NEC. Leon Stoll's obviously recently moving over to Xbox, and what impact he's made. You know, one of his debuts, he did beat Dex Premacy, which is a massive name to take in your debut. He did beat me twice as well. Tough compare to beat JKB, you know. And then he did play Dirty Dave, and they did have a best of 3 set on the NEC. I believe it wasn't finished due to some connection issues on Dirty Dave's side. Some issues he was having with some geostorms and things like that. But in one of the fights, Dirty Dave was up 2 rounds, and Leon Stoles finished Dirty Dave with 10 seconds to go. Posture up in mount, Dirty Dave couldn't get out, and Leon Stoles did take it. We are here in the women's division. Zhang Wei Li taking on Joanna Young Jacek. Joanna for Dirty Dave and Zhang Wei Li for Leon Stoles. You know, it's very interesting as well. This tournament format is spread across a lot of different weight classes as well. So it's not just who's the best in the community, but it is as best as you'll see in the later rounds as when the stipulations and the weight classes come into effect. So it's not all the meta picks. You're not going to see the straight Conor McGregors and Dawn O'Malley's. You know, you got to deal with the hand you are dealt. And yeah, it's going to make for a very interesting tournament indeed. But we do see here women's division, Dirty Dave versus Leon Stoles, and this one coin flip. Okay. As we do see lead body hook, lead body kick, hit the body, and that seems to be Dirty Dave now. As we were saying, Dirty Dave formidable on the map, but I feel like the transition to this game for Dave Suarez hasn't been that easy. Obviously, he's still very dangerous. His IQ is nearly unmatched when it comes to the game. See a nice checkbook there. But we've seen him come away from it. We've seen him come away from his formidable GSP picks and known that he can grapple with Joanna Young Jacek if he does need to. But he does seem to now opt more for strikers.
Yeah, I feel like that was something we started to see towards the end of 4 as well. He was adapting his style a little bit, bringing in more and more striking. So it's nice to see that adaptation in his all-round game. I've already seen a lot of body work from him. Like you said, the lead body roundhouse, throwing a couple of rear body roundhouses in there, and that, you know, body uppercut. It's just one of the most useful tools in the game, in my opinion. Slayer. It does so much, you know, kind of damage to the overall stamina, and can catch some big stuns if you time it right. This is a great start from Dirty Dave, although Leon's trying to find his bearings, trying to find those openings for some big combinations. Obviously still very dangerous, but just kind of that picking approach that Dave has had, just kind of trying to pick him apart from the outside, has been quite effective so far.
Yeah, he seems to be trying to keep his distance, but also, like you said, he's been picking at the body, but it just kind of makes me wonder if he's just trying to lower the stamina to take advantage of the ground game later on.
This is mixed martial arts. Anything goes here, of course, in terms of striking, grappling, clinching. Got the full array at his disposal. If he continues to get success, though, I wouldn't be surprised if he just continues this, to be quite honest with you. Leon's got to give him something a little bit different, but you know as well as I do that Leon is a guy that is not going to give up on himself, Jakey. And although he may be getting picked apart a little bit on the outside right now, he's going to look for that opening to land massive amounts of damage. And when he gets going, he's a bit of a freight train with damage. You know, he gets that momentum, and he will just continue to roll that out thick and fast unless you stop him.
He will indeed, Sarah. As you already see there is a cut for Dirty Dave. I believe it is on the left eye, ended around there below the left eye. For Dirty Dave, that cut. But he will, like I said, he was 2 rounds down against Dirty Dave in the NEC, and then he did rally a win. He will start to... He always likes to stick to the game plan, Leon. He will stick to the game plan. He will take these rounds off as such. You know, he don't mind losing these rounds because he knows his stamina's in a good position. Both guys' stamina's in a really good position, so big shout out to them. But his stamina is in a good position to just let the tank go in the third if he does really need to. But do you see anything, Slade, that you think Leon needs to do to adjust to this rangy fight that Dirty Dave's trying to make?
I was going to say, yeah, Dave's been keeping him at range, and we all know that Wei Li has some power behind her hands, so I feel as long as he can keep her up close and personal and get into boxing range, I'm pretty sure he would definitely take a more benefit to it, because Dirty just keeps on picking at the leg, picking at the body, and throwing in random head kicks. So, I mean, I think as long as Leon brings it up close and personal, I don't know. Look, you know more on Dirty Dave as far as like the ground game goes. I know Leon has a pretty decent ground game, so I mean, as long as he can hold up at the end, I'm pretty sure Leon can easily bring it back after the first round.
Yeah, 3 rounds, 15 minutes in total, of course. I think that you are right, Slay. It comes with its own risks, of course, but he has got more power in those hands. And as one of the legends of primetime MMA would say, walk down, gang. Just walk him down, bro. You've got to walk him down, get those hands on you. And shout out Roger. But yeah, he's got to start walking him down a little bit. At the range right now, I feel like he's trying to look for openings that Dave may not give him.
Yeah, Dirty Dave, when you're talking about the grappling, I've seen Dirty Dave got some clinics on the mat. Especially one over in primetime MMA back in when we was in BFAP. I think it was... I can't remember who it was against. I believe it might have been Mixups.
Let's be real, Jakey. It was against everybody.
There was one specific one where he had 14 minutes and 10 seconds control in a 15-minute fight. And it was just probably the most dominant grappling experience I've ever witnessed. 40 minutes out of a 15-minute fight. So that means shooting off the back, getting it, and you're not getting back up. Very well versed on the mat, but Leon as well, I've seen him in the grappling exchanges. Defensively can be sound, won't look to be too aggressive on top. That's why we've only seen maybe one to just try and get a little bit of damage, but won't look to continuously shoot on Dave because he knows one reversal, one sweep, then he's definitely going to be down 2 rounds here. But you see Leon opening up, trying to get them combos flowing, and I feel like this is going to make for a very interesting 3rd round.
Dave, I mean, Leon, last time I saw him compete at least, was obviously B3, was walking people down, throwing those hands very, very actively. The combinations were something else, and I don't know, maybe it's just the fact that there's a lot of money on the line here this evening, there's a lot of pressure, but this seems a little bit uncharacteristic from what I remember of Leon at least. Maybe he's changed his style a little bit, kind of over the last year, but... when he gets those hands going, that's when he's the most problematic. He's just got cycles and cycles of combination slay that really keep people off guard. And Dave being so, kind of diligent in the way that he approaches this game, he's the guy that will spend 3 days literally on a punch bag in the game, just kind of working on different ranges and combinations. So he's not going to make too many mistakes. I feel like you've got to force him to make those mistakes and really take it to him in order to get him to open up a little bit.
Yeah, and honestly, by the looks of it, I think Leon is up too, but this is the first time Leon's actually been hurt in these 3 rounds, and he's actually putting on quite a bit of damage, so...
Oh, a big 1-2-8.
I think now's the time to kind of open up and go all out.
Got nothing to lose, right? At this stage, like I said, I do think Leon's down 2 at the moment, so probably needs a finish. And Whaley's definitely got the power to do it.
We will see Leon open up later as this round goes on. Also, I agree with you, Cyrus. I do feel like he is down in this. But the rounds were close. The rounds were very close. Oh, and there we go. Dirty Dave does drop him, and he does take this full guard, and is a dangerous position. Full guard, a very stalemate-y position, some would say. But if Dirty Dave can pass this guard, nice to know from Leon. We'll see him back to his feet, maybe. No, and a nice posture from Dave, but it could be a tough position from Leon to sort of bring this one back now.
Yeah, Dave does not allow people up too easily, to say the least. He may not have been shooting takedowns, but now it's on the mat and he feels that he's ahead. He's going to take some time to maintain position. Leon's not going to make it too easy for him, though. Slay. He's going to try and stop him moving ahead. But like Jakey said, this could be a bit of a stalemate for a little bit. It's just really going to be about how much Dirty Dave can do to maintain the position if he can stop the referee from separating them, I feel.
Posture to reset the clock for Dirty Dave. You do see that Leon is getting these denials, just not making the right progression after them denials to get back to his feet. The ref will call for a stand-up soon, but Dave does get the posture to reset the clock again. Minute 30 left, and Leon does really need to scramble to his feet, goes for an armbar, maybe panicking a little bit, but just needs to just prey on this, camping this posture up for the reset clock. And there, you need to punch. You need to get back to your feet, and now you need to let the rest of that stamina go, Cyrus.
Yeah, exactly right. 55 seconds and a dream right now, and Leon is, like I said, not a guy that gives up on himself. He needs that Leon Rocky Edwards moment. Don't let him bully you, son. Don't let him bully you. But he has fought pretty safe, and I want to see him leave it all out there, basically, in the last couple of seconds. You've got to risk it to win it.
But maybe, you know, when you're in there, sometimes it is tough if you've got no corner. Leon had done some good damage. He did get the cut early on Dave. Sometimes the judges are swayed by them cuts. I do feel like he is 2 down. Big head kick does land there. But, you know, sometimes these guys do feel like, and Leon is fine, like he may potentially believe he won the rounds. But, you know, it's always ones you watch back on and you realise, right, yeah, I should have really gone balls to the wall. But we'll see a decision victory, maybe, potentially, for Dirty Dave, that will advance him to the next round to face Ed Parker, unless Leon is feeling blessed by the UFC gods today.
The EA gods may smile favourably upon him. We are about to find out. I mean, we've seen weirder decisions. 308 last night, we saw some crazy ones as well. You know, it happens. So never let it go to the judges. But when it does, got to be happy with the result. 29-28.
Yeah, pretty happy there for you on a young J-Check. And a very good performance, solid performance on the feet for Dirty Dave. You know, he's going to have to take on Ed Parker in the next round. And obviously Ed Parker, a striking specialist. So maybe not warmed himself up too much in the grappling, but we did see in that third round how he did control that round, played it safe, you know, didn't really let Leon have all of that time to sort of pull the fight back in his favour. And yeah, it's going to be a very interesting fight between him and Ed Parker in the next round.
Yeah, for sure. Dirty, I feel like the story of this one was the volume, as you can see right there. Just 310 strikes thrown in total, 119 significant, and landed, you know, at a very, very nice little percentage there as well. So great performance from Dirty Dave. It's nice to see him with the adjustments that he's had to his game. I feel like he's really, really conditioned himself well on the feet, and of course has that grappling to fall back on. But that moves us on very, very nicely now, Slay, to the next leg of this tournament. As you can see, we already have Fadnator up against Reps, Ed Parker up against Dirty Dave, and now we're going to have AKA Dave up against veteran Grizz. Now, I'm very, very familiar with AKA Dave. Let's see. Not a problem. So they're just doing, obviously, as you would imagine, a lot of money on the line. There are some integrity checks going on and so on as we continue through this event. So we've got some things going on in the background right now to get that up. But I know Dave is a guy, and I'll just come out and say it. AKA Dave was a guy in prime time at least that was kind of cursed for going 5 fights on win, 5 fight loss, and just happened on cycles of that for about a year and a half. He just couldn't break it, and then eventually something happened. He broke that curse, and he's now gone on an absolute murdering spree to the point that we've just ended our season over at Primetime, and he's currently the champion of both PlayStation and Xbox. Just won a title unification, or a double champ sort of status after beating Dex Premacy in the season finale, and he's done so just by having an all-round threat of a style. He's really able to do it all, and he doesn't really kind of sell the fight slayer like sometimes people are really good at starting fights and then they sell them late. That's kind of what happened to Dave in the past, but not anymore. This man's kind of made sure that his attention to detail continues through the full 15 to 20 minute fights. I'm not as familiar with veteran Grizz, but I'm pretty sure I've heard some good things about him from around the community, so I feel like this is a really, really solid matchup for these guys in this first leg.
Yeah, very good.
I haven't seen...
Go on, Slayer. Low down.
I was gonna say I haven't seen too much of veteran Grizz, not since GFC first started. But Dave, I know when GFC first started, Dave was pretty much an average fighter, and then one season it took a turn, and he literally dominated. I'm not sure if he actually fought against GOAT and actually won against GOAT, because I think that was when GOAT was taking a break. But I know that Dave has, I believe, the second longest PlayStation win streak in GFC, so I know he's very formidable. He's always been one of my favorites as far as GFC goes, as far as like PlayStation, and I've always enjoyed watching him fight because stand up, ground, it don't matter. He'll do it all.
Yeah, Both absolutely great compares. AKA Dave, you see there seeded, ranked number 4. That's how highly he is rated over here, with tremendous improvements to his game. And like you say, Sarah's over there dominating prime time at the moment. Veteran Grizz though did knock out Allier DP10 in the first round, and that is nothing to look past. Very dominant performance, I believe it was. Winning the fight, dropped Ali in the last round to secure it. So AKA Dave, Allier sort of in the same conversation, I would argue, as terms of ability. AKA Dave obviously making them massive improvements at the moment, but Ali not too far behind. NEC champion for Ali. So veteran Grizz has already took out one of the show's champions. Could he take out another?
Exactly right. I think that while we're waiting for these guys to tally up the last little segment of their integrity round checks, just want to kind of take a little bit of a look forward to the rest of the card. Now, of course, on this left-hand side of the bracket, we're going to only have 3 fights left in this first round 1 elimination stage, which will be I'm the GOAT up against Getting Spark and EK Warrior up against Lilo, and then finally Dex Premacy up against CIA Webcam. I mean, this side, to be honest with you, I was going to say this side of the bracket, but this entire tournament is stacked to the gills. Every single one of these guys have all accomplished something great within promotions around this community. I really don't know, man. Like, I was looking at this a little bit earlier on, and again, all set up. I was trying to iron out who could be some of these potential finalists outside of maybe some of the names that people would automatically jump to, like the Bad Makers and maybe the Drizzes of the kind of community. But names like I'm the GOAT, Dex Premacy, EK Warrior. These are big names within the promotion, man, and they're really credible threats no matter who they're going against.
I agree. Goat is definitely one of the most dominant fighters in GFC when we first started. He was the first one to reach 10-0 on, I believe it was Xbox. I could be wrong. It could have been PlayStation, but he was our first Hall of Famer, and it was literally dominant performances against Versatile. Dave. He's fought Wavy. He's been through numerous of popular names, and then Lalo. I've watched Lalo fight quite a bit, and I've actually missed seeing Lalo fight. And I've only get to watch him over in PT and whatnot. And then Dex Premacy. I've seen Dex fight quite a bit, a few in GFC, but not so much anymore. But he's definitely been someone that I never knew anything about, but when I watched him fight for the first couple of times, it was just like wow, never even seen this dude fight. And he's definitely something to watch out for too.
He's a guy that really leveled up his game recently. He's quite honestly, he went from being a good player to a great player. I will say, at least from what I'm aware, this is his final hurrah for the community. He's kind of trying to come in here, grab a pocket full of cash, and then he's going to dip and try to go pro in another game. That's from what I'm hearing. But he's definitely a credible threat, and it's good to have him in it. From what I hear from these guys in the background, due to some of the slight issues trying to get all of these checks done from AKA Dave and Veteran Grizz, we are going to be moving on to the next one for the moment and looping back to Dave and Veteran Grizz. So the next one up is ready. They have obviously all checks done, and that is I'm the GOAT up against Getting Sparked, and we're going to get straight into that one right now. Without further ado, interesting weight class. We got light heavyweight for this one. And looks
what can you guys tell me about Sparks? Because I don't know anything about him.
Or Getting Sparked?
Yeah.
So he's fought over in NEC a bit, right?
Yeah, Getting Sparked. I can give you the lowdown if you want. He started sort of catching my eye around season 4, UFC 4. Sorry, did have an interim title fight that he did beat Dirty Dave in. I believe early UFC 4. He used to go under the name ICB Cali. So not too sure if any of you recognise that gamer tag, but now he is under Getting Sparked. He's solid. He is really good, but he does obviously take on Bully of MMA. I'm the GOAT. We did just speak of the level of him as well on UFC 4 as well. Bully of MMA was arguably for me one of the best grapplers on the box. very, very strong competitor. But getting sparked, some big wins, you know, wins over Easy Work GG, wins over Dirty Dave, some big wins.
Wow.
And there you see already big rock early from getting sparked. And Alex Pereira mirror match, just a show of power, Cyrus.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I think that this is not going to be going for a long time. It's one of those ones where these guys have got too much power on their hands. Now, Goat did get dropped very, very early, but and I know this is crazy, he's doing better in the stamina department very quickly. His head health is...
You're on the bracket screen.
No, he's on the fight.
No.
Yeah, I'm on your Twitch, just showing the tournament bracket.
You just might need to refresh it, brother.
I think Twitch chat's down as well, right?
Ooh.
No.
Okay. No, we're good.
Goat keeps on getting hit with that uppercut.
No, bad.
Oh, good, bro. Oh, good. Yeah, due to the advantage of stamina, though, for I'm the GOAT, I feel like in terms of stamina, although he did get clipped early, this is one of those fights where he may start to be able to pull ahead in the later rounds if he's able to mitigate some of the damage coming his way in this early part. Getting sparked has, of course, had an excellent start, but he is exerting a lot of energy to try and get this damage off Slay. And I know GOAT, and that is that if he's not already kind of going, hell for leather to try and get this finish, it's because he's trying to get that slight advantage in this mirror match. And then he's going to punish him just like that. He's finding openings, chunking away at that stamina. And then, honestly, I'm the GOAT has one of the most terrifying combination sets that you will see. He used to be a pure grappler. Now this man's learnt all of the kind of death touch combinations, and he gets that stuff going pretty quickly.
Yeah, and he's got some of the best head movement I've ever seen too. Like every one of his fights that I've ever watched him, they I think one of the best ones was probably against Versatile and him. Like they were having pull matches, like good couple 5 seconds each pulling just to avoid hooks, uppercuts, or whatever. So like I know his head movement is some of the best that I've seen. I know his ground has been one of the most top notch I've ever seen as well. Some of the submissions that he does, the only other person that I've actually seen that actually in GFC that has anything compared to him would either be Verse or Wavy, because first round finishes were to the both of them. So I mean, I know Goat's ground game is, I would consider, one of the best outside of Goat 1099 and Badnator.
Absolutely. Well, an interesting round, right? I know that he got the stun early on, but there were so many significant strikes in advantage to I'm the GOAT that he may have even stolen that round. They a lot of the time go on significant strikes if there's a bit of a divide in what is landed. Again, Spark has to mind his P's and Q's coming into this one. Nice little pull or slip elbow from him right there. He's definitely still a credible threat out here, Jakey. And he's going to have to get that work. And I feel like the longer this fight goes, the more that stamina is going to become a problem. And, having a stamina deficit against an Alex Pereira is never a good time, my man. Never a good time.
Yeah, I'd agree. You do see there the stamina slowly dwindling, but a big rock and a big double uppercut drops I'm the GOAT into full guard, into the feet on hips, takes side control, but it is probably going to be what we're talking about when we always talk about the long age battle of head health versus stamina, what one will prevail. We will see getting Spark's stamina just dwindle now through this matchup, but big flip from Bully of MMA, and this could be very dangerous. If he could get Mount, start getting some subs, or maybe not going to be so easy with Pereira, but even Mount, some big posture up, ground and pound. It's going to be very tough. The first round for me, a coin flip, but so far, brilliant fight.
Exactly, and I will say as well there, Slay, that it may have been. Never mind. I was going to say it might have been a bit of a mistake to follow him to the ground, but it looks like he definitely has some grappling chops of his own. Was able to stalemate that position, and now they find themselves back on the feet after the referee's intervention.
Yeah, Goat's going to have to watch about the ducking, because these uppercuts coming from Spark has been truly one of his upper hand moments.
Nice. I mean, he's
as he lands
sneaky
right there.
Yeah, for sure. Those uppercuts are money for him right now, Slay.
I think it's a good opportunity, this one, for getting Spark to put his name on the map Obviously, a lot of high words being spoke of Bully MMA, and we do see though that stamina, big flying knee, very unlucky not to get a rock from it. But so far, good showing from getting sparked, and with the Alex Pereira power, anything right now could cause big rocks, drops.
Nice. Like
we see there, big lead hook, rocks him, flying knee. Oh my God, and a slip elbow into the full guard ground and pound. Stands up, and we're in for a banger for the rest of this one.
Yeah, 100%. Getting sparked was so far ahead in this round after the knock and the stun. Does get sat down right there, though, so this is still anybody's game. He gets the stun back as well. Goat trying to get the finish. Could be all she wrote.
This is where the stamina coming into play, Suarez. Yeah. You see there, it's almost at his name bar. Very tough to sort of come back from this one, but you know, like we've seen, Sparked got Goat's head health low enough for his own rocks, but another big drop, and Goat stealing this round massively back, but pulls and slips, and the stamina's gone, and Goat's done very well to sort of come back in this round.
Yeah, 100%.
I was like,
go on, bro.
Goat's definitely giving him the uppercuts right back.
100%. Look, I feel, and this is uncharacteristic of Goat, he took a really reserved approach in that first round. He did. He kind of let his opponent lead a little bit and then tried to kind of make some reads and counter, where Goat's normally the guy that's trying to set pace. But now he's had a couple of stuns and a knockdown. I feel like this is the floodgates are about to open in terms of the damage that he's going to try to put out there. Getting sparked isn't out quite yet, but lovely check hook right there. He's actually got a head health advantage. If he can lead and if he can connect, he can win this fight. But he just cannot allow himself to get bullied by the bully. I'm the goat.
And yeah, for sure.
Nice takedown there from Bully. Feels like he is up in this one if he can just control the rest of this fight. And you was speaking so highly on the grappling of Bully of MMA. Like I was saying, on UFC 4, it was formidable. UFC 5, I feel like it sort of took a dip off. You know, a lot of these guys don't want to focus so much on grappling because it does get a bit stale, and you do want to put on entertaining fights. But this is a good base to always come back to. We see it in the last fight with Dirty Dave controlling the fight majority from full guard, and Bully of MMA just happy here to kind of just go from position to position to just try and dwindle down this clock and take a decision win.
Exactly right, man. Exactly right. And I mean, having all of that, that background in grappling pays dividends in moments like this. And the fact that they've kind of learned to be able to strike and strike incredibly effectively just means that they're even more dangerous now because they have this to fall back on. A lot of success back and forth from both guys over the first two rounds. But now he finds himself in a really, really compromising position with a stamina deficit. It's just dangerous time for getting sparked.
Arm triangle locked in. We'll get that one. Not too often you see a sub with Alex Pereira, but that will put a massive advantage in this round for Bully of MMA, even if it goes back to the feet. But so tough, Slay, to get back to the feet with this sort of stamina deficit.
And that's part of, it's like Cyrus was saying earlier, like Goat has definitely managed his stamina a lot better than what he normally does, but Spark, I mean, $1,500, it's all or nothing, and he definitely went all in, so just paying the price now.
And just minutes, seconds ticking by on that clock. This round has flew by. Only a minute 10 left for these guys to work. Will be another sub locked in, and that's a 10-8, tanks the stamina. And I feel like unless we see a miracle, we're going to spend the rest of this round similar position, Cyrus.
I feel like there might be a submission coming in within the last 15 seconds of this fight. I'm not going to lie to you. I think he's just working towards it. Going to need some vital denies, but Bully is... It's like he's trying to make a point here this evening. He had the ability. He took his time on the ground. This isn't just about stealing the position. This is about getting the submission, and he does. I believe this is it.
Yep.
Brilliant call from you, Cyrus, and there it is. Taps out, and a brilliant fight so far. The fight of the night. Obviously, there is a prize, as we mentioned, for fight of the night, but so far, a brilliant fight between them two gentlemen, back and forth all the way. But really, from that second round, Goat really just thought, right, I'm taking too much damage here. I need to really lock in. It really just went all downhill for getting sparked, but brilliant performance by both of them.
couldn't agree more. Like I say, I agree with you. Fight of the night for sure. These guys very closely contested, especially over the first 2 rounds. Goat of MMA just able to make those adjustments to get himself ahead in that 3rd round, and when it hit the mat, it was game, set, and match. It moves the tournament in the right direction, of course, and means that Goat of MMA will find himself in a pretty strong spot going onwards now. He's going to have to obviously have to win a couple of more fights to put himself in the position that he wants himself to be in, but a great starting fight against a tough opponent. Now, what I will say is that I know that the name will be updated soon, so Goat will be moved on to the next bracket. I moved a little bit quickly, but I'm bringing it up to show you that AKA Dave and veteran Grizz are now ready. So we are going to look back around to that one. They are lobbied up, ready to go, all checks completed. These guys have been fighting a bit to get their first bit of cage time for this community event underway, and it looks like we're about to get to it now, dear Slay. Now, we spoke a lot about these guys already. Very, very fun fighters. Very entertaining in the way that they choose to approach the game, and they've both had a number of moments of success throughout the community. I will say that everything I hear, I don't use him, but Chris Curtis is a pretty solid pick in this division from everything I hear, and I know firsthand, aka Dave, going Drickus Duplessis is a problem. So I'm interested to see how these guys ultimately match up and how Curtis is able to kind of handle the problems that Drickus brings.
Chris Curtis on the screen, so I know Pabs is somewhere punching the sky. Absolute massive fan of Chris Curtis pick, but he's taking on AKA Dave. Already seen one big upset from Grizz. Maybe he has been honing in his skills while no one else was watching. Very good matchup. I like this. Chris Curtis versus Drickus. I know both these guys will be absolutely terrified of Kamzat if he comes knocking at the door. But no Kamzat in the building this evening, so this will be a battle of wit and skill between these two men. Very good. I'm not too sure how I like the Chris Curtis pick. Pabs keeps telling me on comms all the time that he swears blind this is the best pick in middleweight, but sometimes Pabs just likes to be like that. Have you had a chance to use this Chris Curtis pick, Slay?
No, actually I haven't. And I in middleweight normally I stick with Rob or Israel. I'm not too much on anybody outside of them, so I don't have the best experience with them, but I know DDP has very heavy hands, and by the looks of it he's finding that out.
Definitely. I mean, I will say veteran Grizz right now has had or is having and showcasing the most educated jab I have seen here this evening so far. His jab has been sensational. He's been sticking him with it. Now, he's eaten a little bit of damage coming back his way because of the combinations of Dave, but I'm thoroughly impressed with the measured approach of veteran Grizz so far. I can see why he was able to get that upset in the first fight. Just calculated in his approach. And this could go very well for him if he's able to maintain this, whilst, of course, mitigating the damage that Dave is trying to put out there, because Dave is trying to go kind of balls to the wall right now and get that finish.
Oh, and a big body.
Yeah, but Dave adapts quickly though.
He does. Trust me. I've seen enough of Dave fight, and I'm fully behind this guy. I believe he's one of the guys for the tournament. But right now, Grizz is trying to cause a bit of pause of that, man. He's trying to upset this evening. He's trying to get his second upset of the tourney.
And we would all do love a dark horse. We love it when someone who you look at it and you think, okay, he's not winning, and then before you know it, you see him in the semi-finals, you see him in the finals. It's always great to see from these guys. Obviously, a tough side of the bracket as well. We'll have to see himself take on some of the other big names. So if he does win it, or even goes majority along the way, we'll definitely put his name on the map. Something to look back on and say, look at this performance from me. This is what I can do. I'm not too sure if he is already in the ESFL. Obviously, there is requirements for joining. So this is all good to put on the CV. To get you to some places and get you selected as well for future and upcoming tournaments and things that you do over prime time, where you do the Grand Prix and things like that. Definitely a good showing, but you do see there Dave is majority outstriking him. from the stats, a lot more SIGs, but I don't know, it seems like that jab and that straight is just dinging Drickus at the minute. And
I was gonna say, it looks like he's taking a lot more damage.
I actually thought the Grizz was ahead in that round, but the stats would suggest that the judges are going to see it a different way. So I don't know. There's still a lot of time to work, lads. 10 minutes left in this fight, of course. And Grizz, oh, I was going to say, he's opening up. Grizz is starting to open up, man, and he gets a big rock. Those jabs and straights really started getting to work for him right there.
I guess Pabs was telling the truth.
For once, but you do see there some big combinations coming out from Grizz. Absolutely brilliant start to the second round. You know, I do get the numbers. Oh, we do see the big high cross and taking him down.
Bro, I was about to say, Jakey, that this is what I was kind of starting to expect. Now he's starting to have success. Dave might just change this up on a dime, and that's exactly what he did. That power single leg dumped him, and he's got so much time to work, man. 3.5 minutes left in round 2.
Could be tough. First round, I believe, could still be a toss-up. Numbers and damage output, very symmetrical. One time they can give it to the numbers, one time they can give it to the damage output. And we all sort of agreed. We did feel like Chris Curtis was outputting a little bit more of the damage in that first round. So very close that first round. Big drop this round, and it's going to be very interesting. You know, a lot of damage and a lot of control. We do see a pass to Mount could as well make this a very close round in terms of not too sure of what's going to happen. But we do see some big hooks and a big elbow rock and a re-posture into the armbar, and maybe this where Grizz just falls a little bit short.
This is beautiful right now from Dave. Just to get tagged like that at the beginning of the round, Slay, and make the instant adjustment. Some people might have got a bit flustered. The pressure may have been a little bit too great, and I think that may have been part of the reason that Dave has sold some fights in the past. But I said it at the beginning, and I'll say it again now. This is a different man that we see ahead of us. He has ice in his veins and will rise to the occasion, and he's clearly against a dangerous threat in this first leg, and is rising to the occasion once again, at least so far.
Yeah, I don't know Curtis's stats as far as like his ground and his defense and stuff like that, but as far as his hands go, it looks like he's capable of putting on the same amount of power as Drickus.
Yeah, he's definitely got heavy hands, for sure. Good little deny like that. This is a much better job now. Veteran Grizz, seems to have composed himself down here, Jakey, and managed to stale it out so that the judge can separate them. Now, I don't know how the judges are going to see it. There's one knockdown, but there's a stun and a submission from MK Dave. So this is still one of those kind of coin flip sort of moments, and one of these guys may try to pull ahead in the next 35 seconds, you know.
Yeah, the next 30 seconds could be a big tell in how this round's going to go. You do look at the striking numbers, and we do see Grizz slightly ahead in those as well. So his striking numbers on a drop against a stun and a sub is still very close, with the final 10 seconds of the round coming to a close. But I do still think this is... Ooh, nice balls. But I do still think this is a very close round, very close fight, and again, another good third round coming up.
Yeah, and I'm not used to seeing Dave up against the cage as much as he is today. So that's kind of like a new thing. I don't know if he's just trying to weigh out the combos that Grizz is throwing or what, but it's definitely something different.
Yeah, he's normally the one pressing the action, right? He's part of that walk-down gang we spoke about earlier. So he's gonna have to. I don't know, man. I actually don't know where. Oh, there you go. That's how you do it. Here.
And a brilliant rock and a spear from AKA Dave, getting this one to the mat where he had so much success last round. Does he feel like he's up? Could he be down to? Could he be up to? Who knows? No one really knows. But what we can see, definitely up so far through the first 30 seconds, minute of this third and final round. And it does bode well. You know, when them rounds are close like that, you kind of have to bank on the fact that you did win one of them. I feel like he's in a better position to have won at least one of them than Grizz is likely to have won both. So if he can secure this round, you know, it could bode well for him and see him advance to the next round against I'm the GOAT, which would be obviously a phenomenal fight itself. But, you know, Grizz still got some stamina to burn. He's not in a position where we see last fight getting sparked, had nothing left to even get back to his feet. Could really just see him try and get back to his feet and try and just throw balls to the wall and try and get the finish. But, you know, took a while for him to get to the feet last round. So
it did, and I will say that, you know, honestly, if I was in either one of these guys' corners right now, I'd say, look, you could be up, but there's $1,500 that's in the mix here this evening, and I don't want you to go away a little bit sad with some judges' decisions. Try and get that finish at all costs. And for my money, everything I hear about Grizz and what I know about Dave, I think that these guys are going to be pushing for that finish for the next 2 minutes and 11 seconds. See those little transitions right there, trying to flatten him out, or trying to feint for it at least. He did get a submission in earlier, so if he can get, he's actually going to need another 2 or 3, to be fair.
Yeah, I think he'll need at least 2.
This is where he does some of the biggest damage, though, right now, Slay, and if he's able to get another posture up, I would be very surprised if he doesn't get a stun within the following seconds after it. He can be very problematic in these positions, and sometimes makes it hard to get out of them, period, full stop, you know. Good on the denials also. Look at the work he does. Like, Dave's different with it, man. He's different with it.
Some big damage coming down there in this third and final round. You know, really looking to try and take the judges out of this one. See there, loads of straights. Getting the reads on that. And that's Suave.
I thought that was over, Jakey. I didn't mean to interrupt you, brother, but I thought that was over right there.
Looking very close to it. Grizz surviving by the grit of his teeth and maybe showing the champion's heart. And I know if he is somehow 2 up, it's going to be very interesting if this goes to the judges. But, you know, Dave is going to feel a little bit disappointed, and he's going to look at moments like that. But, you know, like I was saying, I do feel like Dave has just edged this, and I feel like he has done enough to win this fight over the course of 3 rounds. But, yeah, that will be it, and we will go to the judges.
Interesting. Oh, they didn't waste any time. DTP gets it. That is a.k.a. Dave advancing to the next stage. I will say, though, that Grizz is on the map, bro. Grizz, that was a fantastic performance from him. I know he got knocked out in this, well, it's technically the second stage, right? But the first stage of the live side of things, that was a really, really solid performance by him. Very, very impressed with what he was doing right there. And that's actually a majority decision as well. We see Judge 1 actually give it to Curtis for the first 2 rounds and not the third, so... Yeah, very, very impressed with Grizz. But of course, it's hard to bet against the one and only a.k.a. Dave, who does it again, gets himself advanced to that next stage, and we already know that he will be fighting up against I'm the GOAT in that next leg of the tournament. So this left-hand side of the bracket already heating up very, very much so. And we're going to be moving on to the final fight of the left-hand side of the bracket. There's technically 2 fights that we were expecting, but one of them has dropped out. Warrior is actually getting a bye. Lilo has had something, unfortunately, an emergency pop up, and he's not going to be here this evening, so we're going to be getting straight on to the next one. This is the final one. Like I said, it's going to be between Dex Premacy, who is a genuine problem in any fight you want to give him the opportunity to compete in, and CIA Webcam, who has been around the community for a long old time and been putting in absolute work for the entirety of it.
Yeah, Webcam a veteran, right? You know, we've seen him amongst it for a very, very long time in the ESFL. Not too sure if he's competed in primetime, but he's not competed in NEC much, but a very household name. But Dex Premacy, a very, very good rise to the top. You know, he's come in and he's looked very, very dominant, and, you know, definitely one of the who's who's in the tournament. So,
to be honest, I don't know too much about Web. Like, I actually talked to Pudgy, which is a campmate of his, and he's actually told me that he's definitely a foe to reckon with, but as far as my personal experience with him, I have never seen him fight.
I mean, he's definitely competed over in prime time. I haven't seen him fight in a little while. I don't think he's been the most active of competitors for a little while, but maybe he's been putting the craft in behind the scenes. Obviously, on the other hand, Dex has been very, very warm throughout the entirety of this thing. He has not stopped competing. He's been at the top of his game as of recently, and I imagine that this is, like I say, at least from what I hear, maybe it'll change, but his final hurrah, unless he gets a W, in which case it may rekindle his love for the game, but he's here to get some money here this evening. I know he takes it seriously, and this is going to be a tough fight for both guys, I feel. The fact that there's so much footage out there recently for Dex, though, may actually lead into Webcam's favor if he was smart and did some of his homework, you know?
We're about to find out.
In the women's divisions, as we see this one contested, I believe, at women's flyweight. Valentina Shevchenko for Dex Premacy under the gamer tag My Granny Kid, taking on Webcam with a Grasso 6-5 record, I believe, for CIA Webcam in the ESFL in season 1, which is a lot better than most. A positive record is not something to turn your nose up at in the ESFL. Very tough. So very good record, and like I say, a veteran. Could he get the job done tonight against a very, very tough Dex Premacy? As you see there, nice pull, rips the body early. Cyrus.
Yeah, exactly. Doing a good job. Dex has sorry, icing my ankle and a bag of peas just burst everywhere, so apologies. But no, he uses really, really good combinations, does Dex, and he utilizes that side kick to maintain some distance, and also grapple if he needs to. Ooh. I know that at least from memory, Webcam traditionally is a more seasoned striker than most. Very, very kind of measured in his approach. He's not like a block breaker sort of style, you know, he'll kind of pick you apart and look for those openings. Yeah, I think this is kind of a pick 'em at the moment, especially from what I'm seeing. They're kind of trading in very, very effective ways.
Ooh, yeah, Dex is getting those body hits. Ooh.
Both of these guys continuing going tit for tat. Webcam landing well. Big elbows on the side of Webcam, and big elbows returning from Dex. Cut open on Dex Premacy's face. And you know, it's one of them. Maybe Dex Premacy has fell out of love with the game and the competence. Maybe a little bit rusty in it. You know, this is a best of one. So if Webcam can take this home, this will be massive for him. As we see a big rock from Webcam and a big drop from Webcam. But survivability there for Dex Premacy, and the veteran could really advance. We did see Webcam in the ESFL live event at Las Vegas, you know, so he has really been in the highest of pressure situations. And you know what we do talk about, Sarah, is money on the line. You know, a lot of these guys do sometimes crumble under the pressure of the money being on the line, and some of them really do thrive. You know, this really does put a hunger in some of their bellies, so we will see there a lot of matchups being determined by this. And so far, yeah, Webcam find a perfect fight. Slowing down a little bit though in the stamina.
Absolutely. You know, to quote Jay Dine, this pressure can sometimes create diamonds. It's been an incredible run for him over the last couple of seasons for Dex. But like I say, Webcam has had all the he's not accustomed to fighting when there's money on the line. He's not accustomed to the pressure that comes with that. And you can see it already in his performance here this evening. It's like he's really answered this fight in a big way. He's come in here almost with nothing to lose, but like with a winner's mentality, with a champion's mentality, and he's having a very good start to this. Now, he hasn't won, and he's still across from a dangerous guy, but this has been a very reasoned and measured approach from him early.
Yeah, so far, spectacular performance from Webcam, slowing down a little bit as we notice on the stamina, but fighting the fight of his life. And you know, a lot of these guys not talking about guys like Webcam, and if he comes out here and puts a performance like this on Dex Premacy, but definitely put him in a conversation for semi-finalist, finalist, winner. Every single thing that a man can do in this tournament this evening can be achieved with performances like this. And another big rock and Slave. What do you think of his performance so far?
He's like I said, I don't know much about Webcam, but I'm liking what I'm seeing. I'm also kind of disappointed because, you know, I know Dex is a good fighter, but I mean, he's getting it with the uppercuts, he's getting it with the hooks, and I don't know, man.
Those stutter steps.
This is a good fight.
It really is. CIA Webcam using things like stutter steps. He's behind in terms of stamp, but he's ahead in every other regard that you could possibly be. You know, like, and that might just be because he's not allowed Dex to really throw anything so far. Everything he's thrown, he's dodged. You know, he's kind of been Neo out there, just being very elusive, dodging everything that comes his way and then answering back with some killer blows. CIA Webcam showing that he's a problem right now, and he just has to be careful not to sell because he's ahead. He's massively ahead right now.
Yeah, massively ahead. All he really has to do is secure this round out. And I'll put him 2 up against a formidable opponent, but we do see, like, obviously stamina dwindling.
Oh, there it is.
There's a big rock there.
Oh my, there it is.
And there could be the sell.
A good read on Webcam's part.
And this one just got a little bit more exciting, Cyrus. Because, you know, Webcam does have that head held dwindling. But we do see Dex Premacy really starting to rally and could be a long
there it is, brother. His bodywork is something else, I'm telling you. When he gets it going. Oh my goodness.
And yeah, looking very tough now for Webcam. A lot tougher than it was 60 seconds ago.
Yeah.
Was looking in full control, full driver's seat, but it is just that one moment that Dex Premacy needed. But we've seen some big shots landed from Webcam. Only just needs a couple more maybe to put Dex Premacy out.
Going to the body, sorry, going to the body has been crazy, and it sets up the headshot slate, and that's what he gets right there. Stack guard, and now trying to get that finish. Oh,
nice.
One shot.
It ain't over until it's over.
Yeah, no. Dex is not here to make friends. He's trying to send this man to the land of wind and whispers, and he was very close to doing so right there. The body work, the head rock, an incredible turnaround in this second round from the one and only Dex Premacy. CIA Webcam, after a very successful first round, now has a mountain to climb to come back into this one with a stamina deficit and head and body health looking a little bit worse for wear.
Yeah, not looking too great for Webcam, but you know, it's always it's a positive sight to see that you're not going into this round and your opponent's fully fresh, right? Because Dex Premacy is far from fully fresh. Webcam has done some really good damage over them 2 rounds as well. All he really kinds of needs is a very flawless 5 minutes. You don't want to be pulling them body shots, and no body rocks really. Needs to kind of put him down maybe a couple of times and control the rest of the round from there. But yes, it is going to be tough, but if Webcam can do it, then he'll be a brilliant.
I give him credit for standing face to face with him still. I mean, he ain't backing down.
We do see side control from Dex Premacy, and it could be one of them moments. Can Webcam get back to his feet? Stamina dwindling. It's been a story of the event, but Dex Premacy says, stand back up. I'm not finished with you yet.
Look, that could go for or against him. Oh! Stun again! Dex all business here this evening. 3 minutes left on the clock. Head kick blocked, but my goodness, this isn't going to take much more, I promise you that.
Some combinations coming out thick and fast for Dex Premacy, rocking the head, rocking the body. Everything's low now for Webcam. A clinch, knee right into the midsection. A jab straight. Oh, and it's just one rear hook to the body that should be all she wrote, but it's not. Webcam survives again. Keep to the gut and a point. Says you're hurt. I know you're hurt.
Oh!
Oh!
Oh my goodness.
Oh, it's just the teeth. And it drops him again into the knee on belly. Takes the arm.
Beautiful. And we'll take this moment to shout out Now You Tap, one of the absolute OGs and best streamers that you will see coming through with his raid. Welcome in, guys, welcome in. Got the community day event well underway, Slay. And as you can see, it couldn't have been a better time to join the CIA Webcam and Dex Premacy going to frickin' war out here.
Really went bad to worse for Webcam in this one, which is horrible to see. But he does work back to his feet. Good get up, but nothing really in the tank left. Needs a flash KO, needs that fly, needs to have landed. And taunts coming out from Dex Premacy. The ego is alive in the cage.
Right. I was going to say, you've never seen Dex fight, this is what he does. And it may come back to bite him. As Grasso just gets a stun.
I was going to say, in GFC we have a saying, and it's don't play with your food.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. Look, he may be on his last leg, but he may rip that leg off and beat you to death with it, so you've got to be careful. Dex gets the killer blow. 1 second to go. Look, he may have an ego, but he's earned that ego, bro. He's earned it. That is that was a brilliant fight. That might actually be fight of the night for me right now. These guys went back and forth, round a piece.
I was gonna say that was definitely a hell of a fight.
Brilliant fight and a brilliant performance from both gentlemen. Webcam was sort of rallying there to come to at the start to cause a massive upset, but just the veteran in Dex Premacy of the miles on the clock he's got on this game really showed as he made the adjustments. And yeah, brilliant performance from the second round onwards for Dex.
Absolutely, my man. And that is now actually the left-hand side of the bracket completely and utterly done. It moves us on to the right-hand side of the bracket. Dex Premacy's name will follow through in a moment, but we're going to be kicking off this right-hand side of the bracket a very, very interesting fight, to say the absolute least. I would argue your first or second seed of the entire tournament, Grizz, seasoned, stepping into the cage, going up against an OG of the community, a man that's been around the block, fought the kind of who's who, gets some great wins, sometimes doesn't, but this is his opportunity to rise to the occasion once again here this evening, and to take out what many may consider one of the most dangerous threats to the entire competition in Drizz.
Yeah, Kieran Crow, again, another guy massively improved. Very good. You know, I've seen him put on some stellar performances in the NEC this season. However, he is taking on Drizz season, who rapidly excelled to the top. You know, many achievements league-wise for this guy. You know, there's not a man he probably can't beat on his day. But Kieran Crow, very dangerous, has a very good fight style. This one is contested at bantamweight, Sean O'Malley mirror match. I'm probably going to just see a banger here, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I was going to say, because back when 5 first came out, I know Crucifix had said that Kieran had only played the game for maybe a month or 2 months, and he was already one of the top fighters in GFC. Like, he hasn't had the game long. He learns quickly. To my knowledge, he's pretty much overall good in all categories, whether it be the stand-up or the ground game. I honestly do not know too much about Drizz, so I can't really say too much, but it looks like Kieran's going to have his hands full as far as it goes with the stand-up game against Drizz.
Drizz is an absolute assassin. Like, there is no other way to say it. This guy... look, man, he's not looking just to get knockouts. He's looking to take souls out here, and that's what he does the best. He comes out there, he puts those paws on you, and he'll put you to sleep real quick. And he can do it on the feet. He can do it on the ground. There's a reason. I mean, every season is Drizz season, to be quite honest with you. He's just too good.
He's a reaper.
There's a shame we are not giving out performance bonuses for performance of the night, because so far this is just stellar from Drizz season, slipping and ripping combos and out of the way of almost everything Kieran Crow is throwing, and nearly got him looking in a position that we see other guys head helves in the third round in the first 2.5 minutes of this fight. And so far just a phenomenal performance. But yeah, still not over, but so far we're looking like this could be a potential winner of the tournament.
Look, I'll say it's never over till it's over, but Drizz, my goodness, man, like, I love watching this guy fight, and the one thing I love about him as well is he doesn't have any ego. He's always out there trying to learn. He's a great guy to work with, you know, and he always goes to work, Slay. I'm telling you, this man's always turning up. Or even on his bad days, he's going to beat the majority of people's asses. I promise you that. Like, it's crazy. It's on Kieran to make this into a fight. That's just the way it is. Otherwise, it's going to be one of those bully beatdown moments.
Yeah, and Kieran Crow, no slouch at all. So for someone...
No slouch! No, he's not! And Drizz is just that guy. I promise you, bro. He's just that guy. Craziness.
No slouch, but... Drizz season makes it look effortless, the way he just picked apart Kieran Crow inside that first round, you know, breezing the first fight of this side of the bracket straight out of the water. And I'll be honest, I can't remember who's below him, but if you are below him and you're watching that sent shivers through my spine, bro.
Bro, he's built different, man. He's built different. I'm telling you, this guy, he's a problem. You have to be on your A game and say all of your prayers. Make sure that you've had a good night's rest. Everything's got to align to beat somebody like Drizz. And I don't want to like stack him too highly, but you see why I'm saying this, Slate. It's because he's a freaking problem, brother. He is a problem.
He's a reaper, that's for sure. I think that was the quickest knockout out of all the fights that we've had so far.
absolutely.
Jeez.
Absolutely, man. Like, that's crazy. Oh, jeez, man. Like, he's just
The Steve-O sniper.
Phenomenal performance for Drizz's season. Looking at this side of the bracket, though, he will have to take on some other big names. We have Suave Jamie this side of the bracket. We have Easy Work GG this side of the bracket. Spooky, who I know is making some waves for himself. Naz Nim 27. A lot of big names on this side of the bracket to take on Drizz. So some absolute bangers to be contested there. And yeah, very exciting. But phenomenal performance, and looking to see who his opponent is in the next round.
absolutely. Well, on that basis, or on that point, as we have a little look at the bracket, you see Grizz obviously advancing round 2, first one on that right-hand side of the bracket to do so. What remains of Maxi or EK Camelot right now? Not sure if they've got lost up a tree or something like that, or they're just kind of a little bit delayed, but we're having a little bit of an issue reaching those gentlemen at the moment, so hopefully the nerves have not got too great, but we will look back around to them if time permits, and we will be moving on to the next one, which is another 2 guys that are seasoned veterans within the community for sure. A lot of accomplishments on both sides of the occasions, especially on the side of Suave Jamie, who has reached some very great heights within this community, especially over, I believe, over in ESFL. Done a couple of bits with Brainchild, I'm assuming, you know, around the block as well. But these are 2 guys I'm expecting a bit of a war out of, and I will say, what a weight class for these guys to be fighting. And we've got our first heavyweight fight of this evening. Let's get it, Jakey! We're going to see Tom Aspinall up against Stipe Miocic. What a fight.
Yeah, banger heavyweight division for these 2 guys. I'd say it probably suits Suave Jamie a little bit more in this weight class, just because of the slow pace of it. Suave Jamie likes to slow fights down, win rounds, you know, really secure the bag. I've watched Jamie since I entered this community, watching him in the ESFL, watching him there, and then he has become a household name in the NEC as well, winning multiple titles, winning multiple prizes as well, Tyson Fury signed glove and all of that, winning some big prizes. And you know, it's never different when we see him, you know, always locked in, always looking to win, and especially in these cash tournaments. We're talking about nerves. This is a guy that definitely thrives in a situation. But Winter J, as well, another one of these guys, picked up the game, quick learning, phenomenal striker, has some great hands, but yeah, taking on Suave Jamie, gonna be tough. And yeah, very excited for this fight. Like you say, heavyweight makes an absolute banger. Tom Aspinall is my go-to pick in this weight class. Clay, do you like a bit of heavyweight action?
I do not. Like light heavyweight I'll do, but heavyweight is just, every time I played ranked, I've never had luck with heavyweight.
I'm not going to lie to you. Fator's my only one and only pick here. Cannot beat the Emperor. He's just too good. But look, Tom Aspinall is an absolute problem. I can see why you pick him for absolute sure. I just love Fator, but he's just too fast. He moves like you know, like a welterweight or a middleweight does Tommy Aspinall, and obviously hits like a truck. So this could be a big problem for Stipe, to be quite honest with you. He's a little bit more flat-footed. He might have a little bit of an issue reaching Suave, who is going to have the ability to use some of that elusive footwork to get some lateral movement going and get in and out of range. The problem is, Slay, as we well know, in heavyweight, it only takes one to get the job done, and Stipe definitely has the power in both hands.
For sure. And like, one thing I don't know much about Suave Jamie that I'm kind of curious about is what is his fighting style? Like, is he an all-around guy, or is he stand-up, or what's the story behind him?
Definitely all round, but he likes to put the work together on his feet, right, Jakey? So like that's I think where he excels, but he definitely has top-tier grappling to go with it.
Yeah, top-tier grappling for Suave Jamie. You know, his side control on UFC 4 was one of the most feared. Same as his top mount on this game. Top mount is a position that a lot of people do say is easy to hold, but Suave Jamie's reactions in that position is second to none. It is phenomenal. If Winter does find himself in that position, I'm going to call it. The fight's over.
Yeah.
If Suave Jamie does find that position, we does see their duck single leg nice now from Winter. But yeah, phenomenal on the ground, but phenomenal in the striking department. I remember one of my highlights was an ESFL matchup. Was Jamie versus T4H, one of them. one of them T4H guys, I believe, and Suave Jamie was like 2 rounds down and then just for a front kick and just absolutely flash KO'd him. A brilliant moment for him in that one that really started his reign. He went 18-0 that season, I believe.
Yeah.
Undefeated, won the esports belt and things like that. So, you know, definitely one of the most decorated fighters in the community, Suave Jamie, in terms of accomplishments. But yeah, UFC 5, a little bit of dip in form. Some would say dip in form. I would say a lot of other guys did really excel.
Yeah.
But, you know, still dangerous.
I agree with you. I think it's actually other people leveled their games up as opposed to him getting, you know, bad. I will say that when you said about the side control, it literally gave me flashbacks to playing ranked back or when I had an Xbox, brother. This guy was a problem in those positions and still is. So you do not want to let him take you down, and that's why Winter's all about stopping those takedowns. Right now, he has got them, feathering them to try and sprawl anytime he goes for those legs. That's going to open up some striking. Just like that, Suave Jamie head kick, spear double leg. And straight into that side control that we know so much about.
Yeah, now this position is interesting because you can obviously power out of this position pretty well. So it does obviously require a little bit more stamina usage. Jamie's still very good at denying powers. You do have to watch out for that. But here, very, very well versed. You see there, double denials. End of the round does save Winter there. A minute left on the clock, could have been in a very, very dangerous position. But you see there, Suave Jamie probably, I felt like he was taking a little bit more damage than Jamie. I thought Jamie was taking a little bit more damage than Winter, sorry, in that round. I felt like Winter was fighting a very good fight up until that head kick spear moment. So nothing really to be upset about for Winter. I feel like he is fighting a good fight, and over the course of these next 2 rounds could definitely swing them in his favor. But, you know, does have to avoid hitting the mat for me at all costs.
100%. Now, the good news is every round starts standing, so he is now back in a position he's going to feel a little bit more comfortable with. But Jakey, absolutely right, needs to defend those takedowns with everything. I mean, honestly, even if he gets rocked, I would just sprawl. Like, it's just one of those ones. You don't want to get taken down. You're better off taking a little bit of a stun, to be quite honest with you. Jamie's too problematic in those positions. Winter is a guy that may not have the same level of accolades as Suave Jamie, but he's been around the community for a long time and has definitely beaten some top-tier names. He has a very fundamentally sound approach to the game, very creative when he needs to be. Now, of course, that might be a little bit stifled by the heavyweight weight class. He isn't able to get those kicks going quite as he may want to, but it means that he gets to fundamentally concentrate on his boxing, which could be something that will pay dividends if he's able to get those hands going like he did just there, Slay. But you can see that Suave's just in his face all the time, trying to beat him like he stole something.
Oh, what a big duck into the rear hook for lead hook, sorry, for Suave Jamie, I believe it was. Makes him hit the mat. Does stand back up, not really interested in that full guard position, I believe. I did see a matchup between these two guys before, over on the NEC, where Suave Jamie did drop Winter, and Winter did sweep him from full guard and end up in that mount position and actually finish Jamie.
Nice hit,
in that matchup. So Suave Jamie not interested in that, but big body rock into the uppercut, and a jab does sit him down up against the cage here, pounding away, and Suave Jamie just a million miles ahead at this point. So
yeah, so he needs more than a Hail Mary right now, where Winter's kind of got his back against the wall quite figuratively and literally, and elbows getting rocked again. This may be it. One timed uppercut maybe sending him into another dimension. Oh, he actually goes for the double. Crazy. Lovely work.
Really will get this one, and a big double leg high toss into side control for these next minute and 38. And this one is all just going to be about denials, working the stamina of Winter J, as you see there. Every time it denies, it does tank a little bit. Doesn't get mount. And just more denials, Slade. And this is what we're telling you about Slade. What do you think about this performance so far from Suave?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, Winter's doing a pretty good job on the denials, but Stam's cooked.
Yeah.
I think I'm just gonna go ahead and call it there, unless he can manage a a lucky rock into some finishing. That Stam is pretty much dead.
Look, he is only getting out of this position if he gets an arm trap, and outside of that, it's the round ending. Otherwise, oh, he gave it up. He gave up the position, went for a submission. I suppose Suave Jamie could just give it up as well and go for a submission. fair play. This man's out here playing chess when most people are playing checkers. He's doing some next level work right now.
Yeah, flawless performance so far. Similar to what we see of Drizz, just absolutely one step ahead all the way across the board, and big way Harry pops out of that, just sinks in the choke, and it's just out there, that duck, and it was the rear hook that sat down Winter. That was the start of all his problems. I believe Suave Jamie 2 rounds up now, but he won't get too carried away, I don't believe. I believe he'll still look to secure the win. If he can take the grappling exchanges, he will. But Winter's stamina shot to bits, head health shot to bits. We see the stamina, the lowest block as well. So going to be very tough for him to come back in this one, but a touch of gloves.
Yeah.
And
Goodness, man. All round, this guy is cooked right now. Stamina gone, head health gone, body health gone. Somebody throw in the towel, jeez.
You can do that on Undisputed, man.
Still right. I was going to say, could have saved him a little bit of CTE right there, but they wanted to see somebody die out here this evening. Wow, that was a phenomenal performance from Suave Jamie, who was quite clearly here this evening, meaning business. He's looking to get that paycheck, it would appear, Slay, and was able to, much like we saw in the previous fight with Drizz, come out and just be 2 or 3 steps ahead of his opponent every step of the way.
Yeah, he was definitely steps ahead, both in the head movement, the striking, and clearly the body work. I would say that Winter didn't do too bad on the ground against him, given what you guys had said about Suave Jamie.
Absolutely. So that, an incredible performance, moves us on very, very nicely to the next one, where oh wow, okay, fair play. Pablo G disappearing. Call him Houdini from now on, as Trixie gets a bye into that next round. So we're not going to be having.
So you're telling me, Zara's, we're seeing Suave Jamie versus Tricky Swifts?
It would appear so, my man. It would appear so. Now that's a fight and a half, I tell you.
A rivalry for the ages, that one. We see them head off so many times. ESFL, Venom Invitational, so many invitationals, so many tournaments between them two. And yeah, so it seems them two will match together in the next round. We do apologise for obviously some of these guys not showing up to complete their first round matchups, but guys, you've been here long enough about this. How some of these guys are. Something always happens, and a lot of these guys that are in this round have already qualified, so we cannot see source replacements as they've already earned their spot. So yeah, Trixie, fair enough.
Be fair with it. Just kind of bringing in a randomness. So yeah, it's predetermined. People will get buys if people fall out. But if you're going to miss out on an opportunity to get paid here this evening, on your head be it, brother. Like that's what it is. That's the way the cookie crumbles. So look, be here, be on time. We may have been 20 minutes late, but that's fashionably late. That is fashionably late. Look, I've got a broken ankle, so I'm going to blame that shit. Okay, apologise. I'm limping around the place. But these guys are ready and raring to go. Easy Work GG is the next one on the card, up against George. This is a fight that one of those kind of sleeper fights. I think this is going to be all-out action from the very get-go, to be quite honest with you. I know and understand from both sides, Easy Work GG is a threat on the feet, especially an absolute menace when it comes to those combinations. And George has been a bit of an all-round threat. He's going to be able to put those paws on you. He might try to take this down as well, because Easy Work is a bit of a threat, especially with that corner pick, Jakey. Like he does like that corner pick.
Yeah, well, I've got a lot of love for George, but I would be lying if I didn't say Easy Work GG is one of my favourite fighters ever to grace the sticks of UFC 5. He was alright in 4 as well, I suppose, but UFC 5, he flows differently. Very tough fight for George. We do see him sitting around one of the lowest seeds into this one, but this one, if George... Oh.
Wow, I'm telling you, his corner, built different, brother, built different. Like...
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure he's going for a first round knockout.
Definitely indeed. It is going to be very tough for George. I believe this is George's debut into money UFC tournaments at the top level. But he is here. We do like to include everyone, and George has definitely earned his spot to be here, just like everyone else. But Easy Work GG, not an easy matchup for anyone. He does this to anyone, so it's nothing too bad for George to be looking at, and just needs to kind of, you know, regroup himself, take this clinch up against the cage, just to sort of recover a little bit and sort of plan your next attack. So we do see there single leg takedown, but not enough from Easy Work GG.
The thing about Easy Work is he sets pace, right? If he doesn't get the first round finish, the third round, if they get there, might be a bit of a problem for him. But the way he sets those paws on you, bro, like it's a tough old time. You've to survive this sort of onslaught slate. Like it's not an easy task.
Oh no, hands down. Like anybody that's aggressive right off the bat, I can tell you from personal experience, Create has been one of my least favorite fights to ever go up against, because first time fighting him, it was straight out the gates. He had me up against the cage and was just going ham on me, and I didn't know what to do. And so I feel for George on this when it comes to Connor and Volk up against the cage, because it's not fun.
I'm not lying to you, man. Easy Work is just vibing out here right now. The pulls that he's doing, the pulls on pulls, he's just blocking everything. His defense is, almost as
nice slip.
But that left hand is money. Again, it sits him down. I think that's 2 knockdowns already in the first round.
A few health events already for George, but you know, having a little bit more success as this round, as he does hit the ground there. He was doing a little bit better, but he does pull into mount. This could be over already. 2 straights.
Yeah, almost a false sense of security for him, Jakey, man, because like you were right, he was starting to get a little bit more success, but Easy Work may have just been setting some traps up there. He was like, okay, I'll take 1 or 2, eat this one, and set him down.
Nice takedown for George. Only 50 seconds to work, so not too long. Easy Work will probably just be not letting that pass to mount happen, but he does, and does power straight back to his feet, burning a little bit more of that stamina. But George's stamina not in a great position either because of the bodywork from Easy Work GG. Easy Work GG, obviously, accomplishments-wise, never won anything. I believe fell at the hurdle of the NEC title, fell just short of the primetime title against Dex Premacy in PT. So ESFL, I believe he got the #1 contender matchup. Not too sure what happened there, but didn't fight Fadinator for the belt in the end. I believe so. You know, notable accomplishments for someone of this skill level. It's looking very thin. So definitely going to want to try and use this tournament as a way to start pushing his name around the community.
Mm-hmm. Much like Mixups, or Cicero as he's now called. He's a guy that's just been at the precipice of greatness for a very long time. It doesn't take too much minor adjustments to make massive kind of changes to your game, and I feel like the way he's approaching this evening, it's not like he's just disrespecting his opponent. I just think that his confidence is beaming right now, and he's just really kind of putting all of his eggs into the fact that he's got an incredible set of offense. He's doing so well, man. He's doing so well. Like, I don't want to count George out. I know I've spoken about Easy Work a lot out here, Slay, but it's hard not to when this man is just absolutely lighting up his opponent.
I mean, if George just had a little bit better head movement to where it caused Easy to miss, I'm pretty sure Easy would definitely be the one in trouble at this point.
Oh, and there it is. Does it again, sits him down, gets that top mount this time. No escape for George. Beautiful work as he noodles his way to a victory right there at the end. Absolutely incredible performance from Easy Work GG as he advances on into this next stage. We'll have to see if he's able to continue that form, but that was a great testament to kind of what Easy Work brings to the table, Jakey, and kind of the threat that he is to this entire thing.
Yeah, like I was saying, one of my favourite fighters. Nothing against George, but I do just love watching him fight. But it's unfortunate for George. You do draw a top name like that in the first round. Don't really get to showcase your skills. But you know, George was there. He come out. He showed up. He done a lot more than a few of the guys tonight anyway. So big shout out to George. Big props to him for showing up. But you know, I think that's just the icing on tip of the icing, or whatever they say is the saying.
It's close enough, brother. It's close enough.
Icing on the cake, or the tip of the iceberg. I don't know what I was getting at.
The combination of them both, but you know what? Like, those punches, they had a bit of a reverb. They kind of caught me a little bit off guard as well. But
you know, I've got a little bit of CT going on that, but he is here and he is going to make an impact tonight. But I'm very interested to see his opponent in the next round because I heard this Spooky is you know, if Spooky does make it through, I heard he's a little bit of a grapple heavy kind of style. So it's going to be striking versus grappler in that matchup. But up next we do have Spooky, so it is going to be see if.
And actually, Spooky's been working on his combinations too. Like his stand-up's actually gotten a lot better. Like in UFC 4, his grappling was amazing, but I know in 5 his stand-up's actually a lot better.
Well, he has definitely improved a lot. In fact, we used to kind of roast him a little bit because he's so good at the grappling that he was just coming out here just trying to strike for a few events and did that back to back. But now he's started to mix it all together, and it's because he was just trying to improve and sharpen his tools. So he was testing himself against some of the better strikers, and you're absolutely right. He is an absolute threat in every single facet of this game. Now, the thing about it is that they are in women's bantamweight for this bout. Stewie is going Amanda Nunes, and obviously the big favorite pick in this one, Spooky, seems to be going Valentina Shevchenko. So we're about to find out how this one goes.
Crazy. I would say that's a good pick.
Yeah, crazy fight between these two. Obviously, Amanda Nunes, women's bantamweight. Very, very solid pick. Obviously, the fabled bantamweight pick. Shevchenko not shown too much. But yeah, I've never actually watched Spooky play. I believe I may have caught a glimpse or two of him on the stage on the bright lights. So this is the first time I'm going to see him, but I have heard some good things about him. Stewie, on the other hand, has played quite a bit in the NEC. Played well, but we do see their double leg bow into the back take, and this is what could be a problem for Easy Work GG, as we mentioned. As Stewie getting taken down there with relative ease. But yeah, so already rolls to the back, postures up and slinger, bro. What do you think of that takedown right there?
For me, it's nothing new coming from Spooky. I've seen Spooky wrestle quite a bit, not so much on 5, but I know if you don't know your ground game, Spooky is definitely going to take full advantage of everything on it. 100%. So I wouldn't be surprised if he manages to get a sub off into this round, maybe even finish it with a sub this round. But then again, I haven't really seen too much of Stewie and what he's capable of, so I don't want to call it too early.
Yeah, Stewie come out, landed a few good shots there on Spooky, and that immediately falls Spooky into the double leg bow, into the backpack, into the drag down. But this is going to look like a secure the win Spooky so far by nice flip from Stewie. It is interesting to see what Stewie does here. Does he opt to stand up? Goes to pass mount, but nice to know. We'll see a reversal here. Nice to know. What does Stewie do? Does he opt to try and stand up? Nice to know. And another nice to know, and some beautiful denials from these gentlemen. And he does opt to stand up there, realising the threat that Spooky does have on the mat. And really going to need to try and put some pause on him before this one does eventually probably hit the mat again. A nice kick into the spinning back kick, single out of range and a pull.
Ooh, nice poppy.
Yeah, he's definitely been working on his stand-up. As you're seeing there, some nice combinations coming through, and a pull, double leg into the awkward turn, and a very nice takedown there for Spooky.
Really kind of curious on whether or not Spooky is just going to take advantage of the ground, or if he's actually going to stand up when they do stand up. So I know he's going for the ground for the most part, so. And this is where he's dangerous the most.
Do you see there a rear naked choke going to be locked in? Passes to Mel. And some big damage coming through. Elbow does
huge damage.
Not get the rock this time, but some big damage there nonetheless.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Stewie can get. Ooh, I'm not sure if Stewie can get out of this one.
But it is looking like this is surely going to be over.
Oh, survives the first round. Which Stewie can still can still take it because, I mean, Nunes has power behind her hand, so if he can manage to get one lucky shot, he could definitely rock her.
Beautiful grappling on display for Spooky, and he does secure the first round with relative ease. We are here though, back on the feet. Stewie just needs to hold over to party. So side kick for Spooky.
It looks like he's nervous.
I mean, if someone was throwing me around like that, I would be as well. You know, it's one of them, you know, you're always scared of the takedown threat, and then that does relatively open it up to come up higher, and it's one of them, it does make you a bit nervous. What one do I go for? Then you're overthinking, and then before you know it, you're back here in this position, side control. We already did see some big damage land from Mount in that last round, and yeah, this is what I was talking about. This sort of grappling is going to be very tough to deal with in this whole tournament. From all of these guys, you know, this could be the dark horse. This could be Spooky's chance to really, really make a name for himself and make an impact if a lot of people can't deal with this relentless, very, very, very effective grappling style.
Yeah, look, he's been a problem on the PlayStation division for a very long time, and the way he does it, he sets up seamless takedowns. He's not spammy with it. He's really, just really effective in the way that he approaches the game all around. He's like, honestly, he's so effective that, like, even with such a heavy grappling approach that he has to a lot of his games, he just doesn't like waste the energy. You know, you see a lot of these guys who are kind of like quote-unquote spammers. They have problems with their stamina management. Not Spooky. Spooky's going to be there for the very end. Now, I will say that was a big reversal from Nunes, but not for long, as Stewie gets flung back around and ends up on bottom once more.
Yeah, and brilliant reversal there, back for Spooky to remain in top position. Already secured the first round with relative ease, and looking at 2 minutes away from securing this one. You know, it's so hard as well, as the stamina is dwindling. Stewie powering a lot is what I'm seeing. And the stamina just getting lower and lower. Needs to find himself back to the feet. Nice to know, not patient enough for Stewie. Needs to punch a little bit more and set the rhythm out of Spooky, because someone like this is going to be, you know, they're going to know about these transitions and these quick get-ups. You know, you really need to use your grapple advantage to the maximum efficiency that you can. But yeah, does find himself on top now, Stewie. But Spooky again, just flips the position. So goes for the sweep, gets him straight into side control. And
I was going to say,
you know, Slinger, this one must be very demoralizing, you know, if you're Stewie.
I mean, he doesn't look like he's too demoralized. Like, he's actually doing pretty good on the ground compared to what I thought he was going to do against someone like Spooky. But, I mean, this is where Stewie's almost lost last round, was just from him posting up and just laying down the hands. But it looks like Spooky took the round two, too.
That was a big round for Spooky, in my opinion. Obviously, I didn't catch the first round, but in the third one now, Stewie's going to have to come out here, get those hands going, and really, really leave it all out in that octagon, right? You don't want to let that opportunity at the prize money slip away without emptying the gas tank. So if you have to risk getting taken down again, you have to risk whatever. You need to get those hands going. You need to get that damage landed as quickly as possible. If there's anybody that can do it, Jakey, it's going to be Amanda Nunes. She hits like a Mack truck, especially in this weight class. You know, you've got to stop that takedown early, and he does.
He did. A good takedown denial there for Stewie. Can he do it again? He can't. But yeah, I do agree. It is that power differential. Nunes just hits like a truck. You know, them 3-4 pieces come out so quick. And it could really leave you in a spot above. A one rock is all it takes, really, if you can get them into a vulnerable position. But, you know, Spooky looking like a little bit like a wet blanket at the minute. Just getting you down with relative ease, you know, relentless pressure on the ground as well. He's not just stalling tactics. Do you see there? Nice flip from Stewie. But, you know, 2 rounds up, this is all minutes that is good for Spooky. Like the longer and another sweep. And he's off the back sweeps are amazing as well. You know, really gets back to top control before his opponent can even stand back to the feet and take in the back. And yeah, it's going to be very hard again for Stewie to.
I was about to say back flat was about to be a problem. He doesn't stay in there, which is good for him, but Oh, and he stops the submission. Stewie, man, he's staying true to himself. Like, this is a frustrating thing to go against, but like, he's not giving up. A lot of people would have like maybe given up that arm right there, Slay, but no, he's trying to find opportunities to win. It's just that the time is ticking away from him right now, and opportunities are becoming slim and none.
Yeah, I mean, I would say this is aggravating for Stewie just for the simple fact that I'm pretty sure he's looking to just stand up and try to use the power behind Amanda's hands just to end the fight, but Spooky he's a hands-on guy, man. He's gonna take you down.
Couple of knees to the grill as well. 1:55 left on the clock. Can we get a finish here this evening?
And this is where Stewie really needs to just go balls to the wall, you know, front kicks, flying knees, whatever he can pull out the bag, because that's going to happen. You're going to get taken straight back down for this final minute and 30, and, you know, morally I would feel defeated at this point. I'd feel like there's not much I can really do. It's going to be interesting to see how Stewie reacts, does go for the full guard, which is good for him. Does need to either wait for a ref stand up, I believe, don't want to get denied and give up position. Just company postures really for the reset clock when there's a posture that comes. Resets the clock nice and easy for Spooky. And yeah, 40 seconds left, and it's looking like the Spooky G has made a big impact on his first round.
I think that this is a dominating thing. I'm surprised, Stewie, to be honest. If you're in a situation like this, guys, and somebody is taking you down almost at will, at that point you may as well just give up the fact that you're going to take some head health damage and just literally block low the entire time. Get those hands ready to block a takedown. It's better to take a couple of jabs or hooks than it is to get it on the mat and take 1:50 to work your way back to the feet, because that's what Spooky's game is right now. He's trying to make you block low so that he can set up his strikes. You don't worry about that. He's going to keep taking you down, and he did so at will for the entirety of this bout. A couple of takedown defenses, but for the most part, it was almost met with very little resistance.
I will give Stewie credit. He did a good job on the reversals and denials. So,
yeah,
props to him on that.
Just honestly, I'll give him one thing. He has the fighter spirit. He didn't give up, and that's one of the only rules here. Everybody fights, nobody quits, and that's exactly it. He didn't quit. Stick to it at the very end, but sometimes some mountains are too high to climb, and Spooky Mountain was that mountain here this evening for Stewie, who was able to get himself a big victory, moving himself onto that next stage, securing his spot in the second round of knockout fights. That was, like I said, domination for Spooky, but anybody that's seen Spooky do his thing in the past, you know what he brings to the table. He got 8.5 minutes there of top control time, 2 stuns, 30-27s across the board. Doesn't come more of a picture-perfect performance for something like that. Great setting us up for the next one. The next one that we have on the box now, because obviously we're going to see Spooky up against Easy Work. Now that's an eternal striker, be an eternal grappler. Now one thing I will say about Easy is he typically has some pretty decent takedown defense as well, Jakey. So that's an interesting fight to keep your eyes on. Kind of a throwback fight, if you will, to the old school kind of grappler v strikers that we used to see in the UFC when people were still kind of specialists, right? But we now actually have the final 2 fights of the right-hand side of the bracket before we start to get on to that second stage. It's going to be Mixups, also known as Cicero now, as he's changed his name again. Love this guy though. He's an incredible fighter, entertaining, all-round threat, mixed martial artist, able to do it on the feet, able to do it on the mat. And he's going up against Mad Dog, who, Jakey, I'll throw it back to you, my man. Mad Dog came through with a big upset at the beginning qualifying stages for this, getting a first-round knockout over JUFC, who is a pretty credible threat, or was a pretty credible threat, until Mad Dog got involved.
Yeah, very dangerous guy, JUFC, and he did get taken out cold by Mad Dog. So, nothing to feel bad about Mad Dog. You've already done it. You've already shown it. It was one of them Hail Mary uppercuts, and it just knocked him out cold. But he's taken on Mixups, a little bit of a differential in ping now in this matchup. I believe it's at 120 ms we're looking at over in the welterweight division. So it's going to be fun. Mad Dog versus Mixups does go by a different name now, but yeah, already took out just like we see earlier with veteran Grizz, did put on a bit of good performance with his upset victory. And now we're seeing Mad Dog to see if he can. And he's locking in Darren Till, which is, I know when he dropped, it was a very interesting pick. And we are seeing Jorge Masvidal as well. So, you know, typically away from the grappling aspect that I know Mixups for. But this is a very fun fight. Darren Till versus Jorge Masvidal. Absolute bang.
That's the thing, though. In this type of matchup, right? Like, obviously, Jorge Masvidal is definitely a striker. I mean, it's hard to say not, but he can grapple, he can wrestle a bit. And I think he's going to have that to fall back on, especially up against a pick like Darren Till. But Mixups has done massive improvements to his all-round striking game. He has become much more of a striker recently. And I feel like, like we were speaking about Dirty Dave earlier, he just has that to fall back on now if he needs to. Obviously, I think he's going to try to test his opponent here, see what different looks he gives him, what he's able to answer back to. I tell you what, that's an overhand from hell right there to kick us off, though, Slayer. Big connection from Jorge Masvidal.
Jorge is actually one of my favorite fighters to use, so I'm kind of straying over to Jorge's side. Like, Darren Till, he's good and all, but I've always been a big Jorge user, and I'm a big fan of his, so. But Mad Dog's my boy. He was actually one of the original people who started UFC, so gotta show some support to him too. But I'm kind of curious on how you can use Darren Till compared to Jorge, who Jorge has some hands on him as it is already with all his boxing experience.
I mean, Mad Dog's a dangerous guy, man. Like, he wasn't actually winning the entirety of that first round when he beat JUFC. Funnily enough, it was the first fight that happened in the qualifying stages, and I watched it. Well, me and Jakey did, I believe, while we were getting everything set up. And this guy knocked him out, like, final seconds. Like, he's got some excellent head movement and some pretty swift counters to come back with it. So he's really good at capitalizing on maximizing damage every opportunity that he can. Obviously, this is a difficult start to him so far there, Jakey, but he seems to be trying to find a rhythm and trying to fight his way back into this bout with another lovely duck and counter.
Yeah, some nice counter combinations from him there, as we've just seen a couple land from Mad Dog. He does have that in the bank. He does have some... Oh, the big flying knee lands, and he's pouring on the pressure now, and that is massive in this round for Mad Dog. Then big strikes that do catch you out, and it's a big cut that's open. Well, I believe it's broken the nose of Jorge Masvidal. And, you know, fighting a good fight so far. He's no slouch, Mad Dog. JUFC did relatively do well in that fight, but you would expect him to. But, you know, with someone of this ability, they can definitely take the wins. Mixups, obviously, a very tough fighter to get it done against. Fundamentally very sound. You see him there working that jab, working that double jab pressure in. But we do see some good slick counters from Mad Dog. But nice rear hook does land there for Mixups as the pressure comes down, and a jab, rear hook again, and really just putting this pressure on Darren Till, who's trying to find range, trying to find the counter windows to fire Mixups at. But, you know, I feel like this Mixups pressure is doing very beautiful things, Cyrus.
Hey, stop!
No, it really is. Mixups has decided to go big or go home here this evening. Those overhands coming thick and fast right now, connecting on the left-hand side of Till's face. As you can see, a bit of a laceration below that left eye. Mad Dog sticking true to what got him to the dance, trying to slip and rip some of those combinations. I feel like a little bit more lateral movement would play dividends for him at the moment, Slayer, but he's not out this fight. You know, he's had some good moments himself, and obviously there's a lot of time to work with. There's still 10 minutes left on this regulation clock.
Yeah, and actually, Mad Dog's doing a better job at managing his stamina. I know in the fights that I've watched him, he generally goes through it pretty quickly. And he's actually taken a step back of doing flashy moves, so I can definitely say he's definitely taking this fight more seriously than the most that I've seen him fight.
As we see some more pressure coming from Mixups, Sicario, should we call him, and a big rock and a nice pull, but not doing enough there, and a clinch from Mixups. Clinch-ups, we used to call him back in the day. Very well versed in the clinching department and the wrestling department. Will take them clinches there to gain positional advantage any way he can, as we see the block shattered now from all of this jab pressure, this forward jab pressure from Sicario. So yeah, so far fighting a good fight, but still does have to be very wary of the Mad Dog counters, because Mad Dog is still there. And this Darren Till is very strong, but another big rock into the flying knee, and the pressure is just immense from Sicario right now.
One of the biggest kind of adjustments to Mixups' game is he started training with Trixie, funnily enough, quite a lot, and we saw massive improvements in his striking as a result. And you can see it here this evening, just being so calculated with it, so relentless. He brings that chaos that Mixups has always been known for, and he still mixes it up, but now he's mixing up with those hands, and he keeps putting those paws right on the chin, brother.
Is it a bird? Is it a plane? It's Mad Dog falling out of the sky, and a big punch out of the sky there, and this will be all she wrote, and a brilliant performance from Sicario. And yeah, takes home that dub with the new alter ego Jorge Masvidal that you will see featured a little bit later on in this tournament. But yeah, brilliant performance there from Sicario. Mad Dog had a good run. You know, a lot of guys will thank him for taking out a big name in that is JUFC. So you know, his road has come to an end, but he did make a massive impact on this tournament and how it will play out in the future. So you know, definitely made a good shot of himself. But yeah, brilliant performance from Mixups, and advances to the next round. And yeah, looking forward to seeing who he's fighting in the next round.
Yeah, I mean, look, this thing is getting interesting real quick. It was intriguing to start. Now it's interesting. This is starting to heat up. People are advancing to that next stage. We're starting to see, so you know, that some of the favorites get through, and you know, some people who maybe not the favorites got through, and ultimately we're getting closer and closer to the quarterfinals, the finals, where things are going to be a little bit different. Of course, there's going to be more information on that a little bit later, but for those who don't know, alter egos, certain fighter selections are all going to be at play as we get towards that later segments. But we still have one more fight on the initial round one of this tournament, as we now have between two guys that have been around for some time, actually, funnily enough. It's going to be between Naz Nim and K.H. Fran. And I mean, if you don't know these guys, you're slacking. They've been around. They've been doing work for longer than I care to remember, to be quite honest with you. They're absolutely incredible competitors. And I feel like they're both always putting on entertaining bouts as well. Now, I'm not a guy that believes in jinxes, Jakey, and I don't want to say that I'm going to jinx it, but these guys always try to leave it on the line. Kill or be killed sort of attitudes on both sides of the equation, and I wouldn't expect anything less here this evening.
Yeah, definitely. I know both these guys very well. I watched Naz Nim's come out of nowhere and made a massive impact in another competitive league. Did very well there, and he is here now. He's part of the FSK boys, the Flow State Kings, with likes of Fadinator and other big heavy hitters, God Ate My Pig, and people like that. So you know, definitely the skill is there if he is there, and obviously Hate Fran part of that favoured Regicide camp, where we see guys like Rep, Ali ADP, and some big other names there. So yeah, it's going to be a banger of a fight. Both of these guys, you see the Conor McGregor locked in. Both of these guys will meet in the middle, and it will be absolute beautiful violence.
Yeah, Hey, Fran was actually one of our most dominating champions for Xbox. He held it up before Ali ADP actually joined the league, and him and Ali literally went at it over and over and over again, and have put on some of the best fights that we've had. And I think when we had UFC 5, I think after our first season, we did what we call a historic fight, and let those two go at it. And then instead of it being a repeat of Ali winning, it was actually Fran that beat him, I think, in the 4th round. So I know Ali has some skills, and I know Fran has some skills, and Fran was running the Xbox League for such a long time. So I know Fran has quite a bit of skill behind him. As far as yeah, I was gonna say his other name, but I'm not saying that.
Didn't want to call this guy Daddy? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah. XCO. I don't know too much about him, so.
Honestly, like I said, these guys been putting in work. They're both just so dangerous in the octagon. I will say that I think this is only the second mirror match we've seen this evening, which is a pleasant surprise. But this Conor McGregor pick, just such a powerful one for this weight class. You know, it is a striker's delight. You're able to really get those hands going. And obviously, he hits so hard. He's so fast. The counters are there. An excellent pick for both of these guys. These are the guys that you want to see using the Conor McGregors of UFC 5.
Yeah, definitely two very, very good veterans going at it now. Well, when I say veterans, not been around since the early doors of the game's life cycle, but in terms of household names in UFC 5 and towards the end of UFC 4, these guys were really up there. You know, you see their big combinations coming from Naz Nim, really getting through the block, but Fran not taking a step back. Both of these guys trying to earn their spot to take on Mixups in the next round, battling it out. Both of these guys will be a tremendous for Mixups, but big drop there from Naz Nim, Texco, Daddy,
He's gonna have
and
to
it's
get
going to
there.
be all, and it's all
Jeez.
0 to 100 in 0.5. That was incredible. Just back and forth battle, but ultimately Naz Nim finding the way to land those killer blows. When that straight landed and then that check hook right there, beautiful, beautiful work. Like I said, these guys, they're here to live or die by that sword. They're entertaining fighters, and they proved they're here once again, just willing to meet in the middle and find out who has those better hands. Naz Nim with the Heat Seekers here this evening.
Whose fight was faster, Nazim's or Drizz's?
I think that's Drizz's. I still think that's Drizz. I could be wrong, but Drizz's felt like it was in a flash. Like it just felt so quick. Like,
that was about 900 health events as well. But we do see hand raise from Xcode Daddy, aka Naz Nim, the Flow State King. Does advance to the next round. So that does conclude the first round of matches. Do we get an update of what's happening with what remains of Maxi? What remains of?
I think they forfeit, if I remember right.
From what I've seen, it looks like there has been a forfeit, which I believe means that we're going to have Drizz just straight through to the quarters, which, yeah, I just got a thumbs up from the back, though. That's, I mean, let's be honest, Drizz probably making it there anyway, but if anybody, should get it by, it's that man right there, especially after that first leg performance. I'm not saying that this is what happens, right, because I like Maxi. I think he's a good dude. But I'm reckoning that maybe these guys disappeared a little bit because of the performance he put on, because that was a terrifying performance, and I think that everybody on that side of the bracket and the opposite one is looking at Drizz as the guy that's the beat right now. I mean, that was a terrifying first start for him. It does, though, as you say, bring us to an end of the first elimination stages. We now move on to knockout stage 2, or round 2, as you see on your screens right there. We're going to be going back across to the left-hand side of the bracket, where we're going to actually see the one and only Fatty the Baddie stepping back into that octagon here this evening, and he's going to be going up against Zay or Reps. Now, this is an interesting fight. Reps really, Jakey, fought incredibly well in that first set. He was thoroughly impressive. And I believe I said at the time that he is going to be able to pose a credible threat to Fatty. Now, it's hard to bet against Fatty, of course, because he is the baddie. But this is an all-or-nothing moment for Reps here this evening, where he gets to stamp his name out there with a big win, if he's able to do so over Fatty.
Yeah, definitely. Just before we move forward, I do want to shout out Creasy for the 16 months subscription there. Big shout out to you, Creasy. 16 months in a row. But yeah, we are moving on now. Fadinator taking on Brett. Yeah, we've seen it be a bit of a ping differential, could cause some problems for Fad. That high ping grappling, but you're never going to hedge your bets against him, or anyone with their sanity left wouldn't. But this is where we're moving on now. You're seeing some of these names: Ed Parker, Dirty Dave, aka Dave, I'm the GOAT, Warrior, Dex Premacy. Jesus Christ, we have the craziest lineup coming through now. Mixups, Naz Nim, Easy Work, Spooky, Suave versus Trixie. This is where history is made and bangers fights happen. But yeah, so Rep really needs to dig deep, take out Fadinator, and I'm pretty sure everyone else on this tournament will be rooting for him.
Absolutely. Well, without further ado, we get going. They are now ready. They are raring to go. Back in women's flyweight this time, Alexa Grasso up against Valentina Shevchenko.
I believe that's incorrect. I believe I set this at flyweight men's, but it's whatever.
they go with it, brother. They're going with it. We're going to roll with the punches.
They made it harder for themselves.
They did. I've never seen anybody opt into a woman's fight, so that is what it is.
Yeah, it was men's. Sounds fine. But they have locked into women's flyweight, but this result will still stand. But we do see Alexa Grasso versus Valentina Shevchenko again, I believe. You know, obviously a lot of people saying Fader is the favourite, but Ref, if he can get this fight to the ground, it could cause a little bit of problems. I have seen a couple of times someone locking a sub on Fad, Ali ADP being one of them. So, you know, if he can get him down to the ground, Slayer, then, you know, it could open up a whole barrel of problems for the favourite.
Man, I don't know. Because I've heard a lot of good things about Fadinator. So, I mean, to my knowledge, based off of what I've seen from the ESFL, he's a top competitor. Very few can match to be his level. I know a lot of people say GOAT 1099 is probably one of the top dogs against him, but I mean, Rex is no joke either. Like, I've seen him pull some crazy stuff, and I have hopes that he's going to put on a show. And if anyone's going to give Fad a run for his money, or at least make him work for it, it's definitely going to be Rex.
Well, I will say that Rex has already landed a big head kick, got a stun, tried to get a takedown, didn't quite go his way, but now finds himself in top control. It's a great start from him in a fight that, you know, everybody would say is a very, very tough one. He's answering that and some with very little hesitation. Doesn't seem to be lacking on confidence, does this man?
We do see here some sprawl damage coming from Rat. And, you know, good ground position control. This is what he wants to look for. And he goes to take the back. And a nice roll to full guard for Fadinator, looking to just maybe stand back up and cause some more carnage on the feet. But, you know, Rep happy to just stay here and try and see out the rest of this round, which will be it will benefit him if he can just drag the champion, or the NEC champion, whatever champion he is, the ESFL champion, into the later rounds. And yeah, definitely bodes well for him, Cyrus, if he can just, you know, have a round like this.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. Like I said, nobody in their right mind would bet against Fadinator coming into this fight, but Reps is showing you that he's somebody to watch in this entire thing. And as we said, if he's able to get the victory here this evening in this fight, he may put himself up there as one of the favourites, to be quite honest with you, Slay, because he's going to knock off one of the most credible threats to the entire thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, like I said, if anything, he's definitely going to make sure Fadinator, you know, works to get that money. Like, out of all the fights that he's done in GFC, he's always put on some great shows, and he's had some quick fights, he's had some prolonged fights, but he's always had, you know, some of the best fights I've seen. So, I mean, he's fully capable of, you know, taking it away from Fadinator if it really boiled down to it.
And just avoided a big onslaught that was coming his way from Fad right there, and yeah, this is heating up a lot, Jakey. I mean, I almost a little lost for words right now in what we've seen so far. Fad's trying to answer back. He is absolutely a master of finding a way to get victories, no matter what way the fight they start or midway point. Right, he finds a way every single time, but weirdly enough, his back is a little bit up against the wall right now after a difficult first round.
Yeah, but you could win 5. You could win 5 rounds out of 5 against Fadinator and still be in position to get knocked out after the bell or something with Fadinator. He always finds a way to come through. He's so dangerous. You know, credit to Rhett, fighting really well. You know, got to put the pressure on Fad. You know, make him double think what he's doing, not just let him have all this freedom to just chop you down. Which he's doing right now to Rep. He's answering back really well. But Rep, you know, is hanging on in there. But yeah, still Fad as dangerous he is as soon as from the word go, you know, you can never count him out. But yeah, Rep's still landing really well.
And in fact, he's landing incredibly well. And look, Fadinator is answering back. He's finding his rhythm, as we would expect. But it's almost being overshadowed right now because even whilst he seems to be finding his flow, Reps seems very much in this fight, and for my money is actually still slightly ahead in this round still. Although this may change with a couple more of these combinations connecting. He seems on the verge of being rocked right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, he came in throwing combos, and each and every single punch was landing. So,
oh, there it is. There it is. Baddie the baddie. Chants are raining out as he gets the victory. Tell you, bro, he's just a different breed right now. Baddie the baddie for a reason. Absolutely incredible competitor. I mean, commiserations to Reps. He had a great showing here this evening, but some tasks are insurmountable, and Fadnator is one of those tasks, at least in this bout.
You look at a lot of the names that you could potentially be matched up with, and the first one you don't want to see Fadnator. You know, you sometimes hope for a little bit of an easier route to the final, but Fadnator, we've seen it some time and time again. He sometimes does look invincible. You could have, like I say, you could have the best round of your life against him, but he's still so dangerous. No matter what time, he just lets them combos fly, and he just lands precision at any point. And we see it there. Brilliant victory. Commiserations to Rep. Did his job well. Got through. But sometimes, like you say, some mountains are impossible to climb.
Absolutely. And look, that heats us up and starts us off very, very nicely for the second stage of this tournament. We're now going to get to see the debut of him here this evening, with Ed Parker stepping into the cage. And an interesting fight will this be, because it's actually going to be between Ed Parker and Dirty Dave, who won his first round of this tournament in a pretty emphatic fashion, up against a very tough Leon Stolz. So this one right here, I expect to be a bit of a barn burner. I'm actually seeing, because I get a little bit of a glimpse ahead, where it looks like Dirty Dave is sticking with the with the striking meta that he has built up over the last 12 months or so. The reps he's putting in the gym have clearly got confidence in those hands, and he's going up against one of the fabled strikers around in Ed Parker.
Ooh. Yeah, it's very exciting. Get to watch Ed Parker on the big screen. Didn't get to catch him in the first round, but he is here. He is taking on Dirty Dave. Dirty Dave again, opting away for the grappler pick, opting for Alex Pereira, taking on his Israel Adesanya in middleweight. It will be very interesting. What do you think of this matchup, Spooky?
You say Spooky?
Slinger, sorry, I'll just add him.
To be honest, I don't know too much about Ed Parker at all. Like, I don't think I've ever seen the guy fight. But I am kind of curious, because having an Israel versus an Alex pick, I mean, most people favor Alex, but I'm curious to see how people handle Israel when it comes to fighting against Pereira.
Just waiting for these guys to finalize some integrity checks, as there is a lot of money on the line. So I'm sure you can appreciate, we'd like to make sure everyone who is competing is playing for themselves, and everything is run as smooth as possible to benefit all of the competitors involved. Obviously, a lot of these guys are passing them with flying colours, so it shouldn't be too long. Should probably be about 30 seconds. But yeah, Sarez, what do you think of Dave picking up Alex Pereira? Maybe not a Caricus.
Yeah. I think that having the diversity of somebody like a Dricus would, really play out well for him. But you know as well as I do, Jakey, that when it comes to this, kind of game as a whole, it's not about the fighter pick, it's about the man behind the sticks. And he's looking to match the ability of Ed Parker on the feet, I would imagine, with this pick. And if he needs to grapple, Dirty Dave can grapple with anything. He can grapple with absolutely anything. So if he needs to, he may have to try and sit him down with Alex Pereira. But from what I saw from Dirty Dave out this leg, at least in the last leg, he's definitely had massive improvements on the feet. And I wonder how that's going to stack up against somebody like Ed Parker. I know that you say you haven't seen him fight before, but he's a very good striker. I would like more of a sim sort of striker. He's very good at counters, very good at range management, all of that. So this is going to be one of the trickier fights for him on the feet, I do feel, for Dave.
How's Ed Parker on his ground game?
I've never actually seen him challenge down there too much. I believe he's pretty well rounded, but obviously striking is where his bread is buttered.
You know what I like to say is these guys, when they're so proud of their striking, they like to make sure that they don't get taken to the ground. Obviously, Ed Parker, not a grappler, probably can grapple, but doesn't want to be there whatsoever. So looks to stay on the feet as much as possible. So they work highly on their takedown defense, where it doesn't benefit Dave, as Dave has got someone with low takedown stats in Alex Pereira. But if he can get a drop or something and get him to the ground, then it should bode well if he can stay on top. But these guys should be good to go.
I'll bring it back across to them. I haven't had any update on it, but I would only hope and assume so. But yeah, if not, we may have to look at slightly moving on for the moment, which would be a big shame. But I assume that there is
confirmed there is one player done and Mitts are the other one, so they should be no longer
there
than
you
10
go.
seconds.
Just got the thumbs up from the back. The little engine that could in the background giving me that thumbs up, and looks like we are about ready to get going. Ed Parker, of course, getting that Izzy pick. Dirty Dave going Alex Pereira with all the power that entails. Should make for a very interesting matchup, which is finally here, I will say, Slay, and I am happy to see it.
So a good fight, very excited for this one. Myself, as you say, every round now is definitely full of hard hitters. One of these will be joining Fadinator in the first round of the quarterfinals that will be hosted over at ESFL Gaming. Will be very, very exciting to see this, like you were talking, Cyrus, the simulation style of Ed Parker. You know, probably can very use this Israel Adesanya to a very, very beautiful standard, as we see him chopping the leg early of Dirty Dave. Very interesting style. And yeah, if you're a fan of UFC 5, then pay close attention to this fight, because this one will be very, very high level. You see fakes coming out from Dirty Dave. Front kick lands into the straight, lead hook into the rear leg kick. Both these guys opting to chop down the tree a little bit, but very interesting. The power from Alex Pereira very high, and could cause a lot of problems for Ed Parker, but he has to be hit. Very hard man to hit. Defensively sound Eddie P, as he jabs into the Superman punch and another jab, and Dave just looking to stay sound. And this is where I will see the fights probably slow down a little bit, start reaching the later rounds. A lot of these guys trying to be a little bit more calculated. This one could end up straight to the judge's decision, and so far, you know, it's Dirty Dave fighting on the back foot, which is quite interesting, Cyrus.
Yeah, I feel like it's a part of it, maybe the Superman punches. You know, Ed's using them to cover distance and try to stay safe in the meantime, because of course Pereira does hit so hard. But I think that may be throwing off Dave just a little bit, or he may just be taking a back step to get a moment to compose himself and make some reads. But when that left hand is landing, he's doing so much damage, it's not going to take too much, you know. It's one of those ones, it's hard for an Izzy player out here going up against somebody like Alex. It's just a lot of the same tools, but the power differential is just way too large.
Big combination lands there for Dirty Dave as he rips the body, setting traps for the trap setter, Eddie P, but a nice jab straight lands, and Ed doing majority of the work. But like you said, when that left hook does land, you do see a big chunk of Izzy's head health drop in. But so far, Dave fighting a very good fight, but Eddie Parker just a little bit ahead in this matchup.
I also think that he's probably fighting off the back foot because he's protecting his leg.
Well, Ed Parker is very well known for fighting off of the back foot, being very defensively sound, working them teeps. As you see now, he does start to take the back step. When the back step comes, the teep comes. But he's more opting for leg health, so maybe not too many teeps for Eddie P in this fight. But we see when he takes that step back, that's when he starts to attack with the kicks. There you see another one chopping down, and maybe Dave's trying to make Ed walk forward more, because Eddie is so good at fighting off the back foot. Maybe Dave wants to see if he can get him away from that, and you do see there teep comes from Dave, drops him, and a powerful spec to end the round. But a good round for a Parker size.
100%. I think you're bang on that, and you know, Dirty Dave is a true gamer. He's definitely a thinking man's fighter. Very, very high fight IQ, and he knows that Ed Parker is, of course, a sensational counter striker. So making him come forward, maybe trying to force him out of his comfortability zone. And then obviously there will be a switch of tempo at a certain point from Dirty Dave, I would imagine, to try and maximize the power differential that he holds with that Alex Pereira pick. And this is actually the beginning of it now, and there it is. Sits him down, left hand, uppercut. Beautiful.
Good call, Suarez, but we do see him straight back to his feet. Dirty Dave probably not going to be able to capitalise on much grappling, but yeah, there is a point where you can't just play this chess match with Ed Parker, because ultimately by the end of the 15 minutes it is going to be checkmate, and you know, Dave really does need to maybe just put a little bit more pressure on him. I know Ed is hard to hit sometimes, but we did see there that he did put him down, but now this is where Dave is shelling up a bit, trying to fight off the back foot and just trying to secure this round, but to me kind of needs to be a bit more aggressive. Big front kick lands for Ed Parker, and Ed will now fight off the front foot.
Nice.
Dave goes to rip the body, and very hard to hit.
Yeah,
His EDP.
It's so elusive, man. So elusive. Yeah, very much so. Dirty Dave almost needs to force him into like an ego fight, to be quite honest with you. He needs to challenge his ego out here a little bit. Do something to frustrate this man, I feel like. Obviously, he got the stun already, so this, for my money, you know, Ed's probably up after the first round. But now, Dirty Dave is securing this round in a big way. We're only halfway through, but 2 stuns. Or maybe a stun and a knockdown. I can't remember if the last one was a stun or a knockdown, but this is a massive round for Dirty Dave, and obviously once he's checked that chin, it becomes a lot more difficult for Israel Adesanya to continue to you know, be in some of these trading exchanges, because once again Poatan just hits too damn hard.
Yeah, he hits very hard, and Dirty Dave's doing very well here to keep landing, but Ed still just, I feel like Ed's doing a lot more chip damage as you did. Oh, never mind. A big, oh my God, and double to the body and drops him. And Slay, what do you think of that from Dirty Dave to answer back from what I just said?
Like I said, I think like Dave's fighting off the back foot. I think it's just because when round 1 started, Ed was going for leg kicks right off the bat, and he's been landing a lot of leg kicks on Alex Pereira, so I think he's just protecting his back legs, so when it comes to the final rounds that he still has that reliable power in his right hand, which it looks like he's not going to need too much because he's doing pretty sound for these past 2 rounds.
Like I said, when it hits the mat, Dirty Dave has an advantage no matter who he's using, and you can see that right now as he, I didn't know he'd escaped it there, but as he gets one submission sunk in, of course, Poatan, he's been training with the one and only Glover Teixeira. He's been working on those grappling chops, and Dirty Dave trying to utilise that here this evening.
Yeah, and it's just a matter of, has Ed really drilled the submission defense? Maybe not. You know, a lot of these guys, they jump on the game, they just stick to the basics, stick to the striking, and probably don't drill that stuff as much. Not really sure how much Ed does really play the game. But obviously he plays it enough to keep that striking crisp enough, but you know, he don't really jump in practice mode and work on practicing the sub defense. But you know, the Potan sub offense is not going to do too much, but we do see now a round apiece, massive 3rd round tires.
Absolutely.
And if you guys haven't noticed, he hasn't switched off to his back foot, so I think he's going to play this round primarily.
Ooh, big rock from Ed Parker. Still on the front foot, and now he will probably try and secure this, putting the pressure on Dirty Dave. But Dave still in good position with the stamina to really put the hurting on Ed Parker. And beautiful body jab, body straight, sorry, for Dirty Dave as he ducks down, sinks that one in. The armbar will lower the block of Ed Parker.
Just showing high IQ once again is Dirty Dave.
Ooh.
Shot selection is impeccable. Sits him down. This might be it.
And this is what we saw in the round for Dirty Dave. We see him taking this full guard position. Will Ed, though, get back to his feet? Beautiful denial from Dave. Will posture up. Will manage to get the free transition to side control. That's huge. That denial was massive for Dirty Dave. But we see this already, Cyrez, you know, takes the drop, doesn't get overzealous, and just trying to burn the last 3 minutes. Feels like as well.
Absolutely. Back to their feet momentarily. Ed Parker has a lot to do if he wants to walk away with a victory here this evening and advance to that next stage, but Dirty Dave dragging him back down to that mat slayer and not giving him any opportunities.
Not one.
One of this will face Fadinator in the next round, and another choke locks in, and this is where it does get tough for Ed Parker. Opts to go to the full mount, does get it, and Dirty Dave just in a brilliant position. We do see he does have that get up, but not really enough stamina to power it, and Dirty Dave will probably be focused on not letting him back to his feet. Leads with a straight, Ed leads with a post, some swaying and swaying, but only ends up back in the half, and nice denial here from Dave, drags him straight back, minute 20 to work. And he opts for another rumble.
It's not going to get the finish with it, right? But just extra little pointies from the judges. I mean, he's actually only one away. This might be another last 15-second sub, to be quite honest with you. Like, it might be the exact same thing.
Yeah, that's quite the stand disadvantage right there.
Yeah. Ground and pound. And that's it. No, nice. Posted it. Doesn't win him the fight, but keeps him in it for a moment at least. He's trying to go out with a moral victory here this evening.
Yeah, 15 seconds left, and Dirty Dave will probably be very happy with his performance. Does have to take on Fad next to advance to the semi-finals, but
he gets it. What is this guy with finishing people in the last 5 seconds of a fight? Like, he just does it so often, bro.
And he does get the win, and you know, them ones are a bit more beautiful to take. As you can walk away, you know, you finished Ed Parker in a $1,500 tournament. It's a big namesake to take. Commiserations to Ed Parker. Maybe a little bit cold, didn't get to do his first round fight, so maybe a little bit frustrating there for him. But you know, you got to take these fights when they come. He got an easy free advance to the next round, and Dave coming in just fully locked in and played a perfect game plan. And this is what I'm saying. I don't think he could have done that with Drickus. I don't think he could have done that with a GSP pick or a Drickus pick, Kamzat pick, whatever grappler he wanted to use. I don't think he could have done that. No. I feel like he needed the stuns and drops from the Pereira power.
100%. He would have had to have gone a lot more grapple heavy to get the victory with a pick like that. You know, like I said, he's confident, so confident in his grappling that he knew he could do it if it hit the mat anyway with Alex. You know, it's just because he's behind those sticks. So I do agree that was a good pick for him right there. Either way, he advances on, and as you rightly said, now fights Badnator in the first leg of the quarterfinals. Moves us on to the next one. We have 2 more fights on the left-hand side of the bracket. Then we'll be moving on to the right-hand side of the bracket. And I have some interesting news for us on that point. As we have a little look, we had discussed earlier how Drizz may be getting a move on to the quarterfinals. Maxi has appeared. A rare Maxi has appeared from the wild, and it now means that we're going to get to see Drizz up against what remains of Maxi, who has managed to get a bye due to EK cap locked being here. That's the easiest way to say it. We will, though, get on to the next one. Move on swiftly through these round 2 qualifying stages, elimination stages, aka Dave, I'm the GOAT. This is actually one of my lookouts for potential fight of the night right now. I expect big things from these 2 competitors. They are highly entertaining fighters, to say the least, have the ability to do it absolutely anywhere that the fight shall go. And, you know, like I said, they've been, both of them have been at the top of their game now for some time.
And I'm right there with you. Like, this was one of the fights that I was actually looking forward to seeing, because they've fought in GFC many times, but they always put on a show. So I'm actually kind of looking forward to seeing how this one turns out.
So, a very interesting fight between these 2 gentlemen. Bully of MMA, MK Dave. I feel like this is where it really just comes to heads or tails, right? It's a coin flip in there. Max Holloway taking on Alexander Volkanovski. Not looking like we're going to see too much grappling here. But we know what GOAT can do. If he does find himself down, he will probably opt to go for it. But, you know, both of these guys, big, heavy hitters. But, yeah, coin flip. Who's going to perform better on the night? Both of these stellar fighters. We do see a shot there, actually, from Bully. But he does manage to get the cage. He will try and work a takedown from here against Dave. But Dave, obviously, very well versed here. We do see that.
Just as an added note as well, these guys are very familiar with each other. They're both PlayStation originals, you know, like they've fought each other a number of times over on that side of the division, in primetime and other places around the world, of course. This is an entertaining matchup, to say the least. 2 old foes managing to battle it out once more, with a lot of cheddar on the line potentially for these guys. Yeah, this one is going to make or break these guys. Goat getting an early takedown is massive for him, Slayer, especially considering how well we saw Dave was doing on the feet early. He was really interrupting and using the combinations of Max Holloway to stifle the oncoming attacks of Goat of MMA.
Yeah, and I'm kind of curious as to why he went Max Holloway over Ilya, but I mean, to each their own. If they have the confidence in it, then that's all on them. But as far as like the grappling stages, I'm not sure what level Dave compares to as far as GOAT goes.
Both of these competing at the highest level in anything they can do. Both of these veterans going at it, as you say, PlayStation originals, very familiar with each other's style. But, you know, Bully doing very good work on the ground here, you know, wants to nullify the striking of AKA Dave, and taking his fall damage. His fall damage very good to take, and a beautiful denial there that keeps him grounded and will put him in a vulnerable position to take some more and more of this big sprawl damage. And a nice denial, and Bully looking dangerous on the mat, Cyrus.
Yeah, absolutely, he is dialed in here this evening, quite evidently. Nice little denial, I will say, there from Dave, but not able to get back up. Unfortunately for him, he's only really got one way to go, and that's to get up, because everything else puts him in just as bad of a position. So only one thing the Bully needs to really look out for. So they're kind of neutralizing each other. I imagine that the referee will be getting involved in a couple of seconds, although there is only 20 left in the round. So I imagine that we are going to round 2 at this stage. With what was a good start for Dave, it was a pretty powerful round for I am GOAT. I'm the GOAT.
Yeah, very good round, good end to the round for GOAT. Does leave Dave in a position where he does need to win these next 2 if he wants to advance to the next round and potentially move on to the quarterfinals and move on further in this tournament. But you know, Bully is going to be in a great position to, you know, that's a very confidence-filled round. We're probably going to. I didn't expect that early. I thought we would have waited till we felt a bit more compromised, but we do see there shot straight off the back on the ankle. Nice denial from Dave, but then again opens up the head for that big front kick, and yeah, Bully fine, a great fight right now.
Nice. Uses that coat kick to walk him up against the cage. Cage control back in his favour. Trying to be a little bit more cautious now. Slade doesn't want to get taken down again. Maybe got a little bit overzealous in the opening 30 seconds of that first round and paid the price. But as you can see, when he gets those hands going, the combinations are really stifling I'm the GOAT. He seems to be a little bit like a fish out of water on the feet, which is odd considering how well he's done in previous fights.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because he's definitely trying to go down to the ground a lot more this round than he was compared to last round. But I mean, with Dave landing those combos, I wouldn't blame him one bit to constantly keep on going for it.
That's a nice little combination right there from Volkanovski. I'm the GOAT starting to find a little bit of a rhythm on the feet, but once again the court kick stifles him, but the slip and the rip to the body, Jakey. Beautiful work. MKA Dave on the feet is a bit of a savant, absolutely flowing with combinations right now.
Yeah, I see. Look, GOAT seems a bit nervous. Really wants his takedown. Doesn't get it there. But Dave fighting really good on the feet here, and it is putting GOAT in a position where he's feeling very nervous. Really wants a takedown, but it's not coming for him. 2 minutes 30 left on the clock, halfway through the round, and he's not managed to get a takedown as early. Maybe, like I was saying, I didn't expect the takedown so early in the first. Maybe Dave didn't either, and that's why it got him down. But now, you know, like you said, Cyrus. He got him down. He see how much damage it caused. Oh, and a big uppercut did land there. Not doing much, but a nicely hook from GOAT. But, you know, really wants to be on that takedown defense. Don't want to be there again against what Bully was doing. And putting on a clinic for the hands for the minute, Cyrus.
Yeah, he really is.
Nice.
And don't get me wrong, GOAT is starting to find openings, starting to find moments, and getting some damage off of his own. But, like, just on the wrong end of these exchanges, time after time. He needs another takedown. He needs it now, Slay.
Yeah, for sure, because I mean, Dave is definitely taking the stand-up game to a whole nother level when it comes to GOAT, which is actually, like you said earlier, is really surprising because GOAT, he's capable of doing both. So, I mean, his defense is on point.
And a big clinch for Dave. Not afraid of the grappling himself. Will clinch up. Will get some takedowns if he can get them. and doing very well so far in this round to bring it back. Oh, and a nice slip there, and a slip and a rip back, and going to be another very interesting round where we're 1 round apiece. Capture the leg for Bully, does get the takedown, but 20 seconds later. Oh, never mind. This stack could be huge in terms of the round if he can find a stun here. Oh, but a nice slip, and I still think I have to edge MK Dave for that round.
I agree. I think that's Dave's round. I think we're 1 apiece going into it. I suppose it depends on how they score the first round, if it would be a 10-8 or whatever it might have been. But, you know, obviously the first round was incredibly dominant. Second round was definitely in the side of Dave. I think it's all to play for, Slay. We'll have to see how this one goes. But I think if you're either fighter, a finish must be something that's at the top of your mind right now. You do not want to let this go to the judges' scorecards. As always, of course, the judges are the most accurate part of the game in just how wildly inconsistent they can be.
Kind of curious on whether or not Dave's going to point to the ground at the 30-second mark.
Well, if Bully knows what's good for him, I probably wouldn't, with how flawless striking he's looking of MK Dave, and the grappling in respect for Bully looking very solid. And he does get the takedown this time, and Dave does need to get back to his feet, or this will probably be, in my opinion, 2-1 win. Oh, and he gets the flat. Oh, and that kills the stamina because he does roll to mount. Oh, but he rolls to half guard. That's beautiful. And nice to nose from Dave. Oh, very nice to nose.
Looks like Dave has the stamina advantage. There you go.
Good block, good check from him. Is he able to get the takedown? No, another denial. MK Dave has to be careful here.
Very close, razor close. Still 3 minutes though. If one of these guys can sit the other down, it could bode well. Oh, and big combos. Dave taking risks.
Some of his best work right there when he slips and rips to the body. He's so good for it, is Dave.
I feel like he should just point to the floor. Just should. Just even if he don't do it, he just should do it.
I will say that Dave's doing a pretty good job of throwing combos, but not overextending with the stamina.
Absolutely.
Whereas Goat looks like he's just desperate at this moment.
Well, especially after getting rocked right there up against the cage. His back is once again, figuratively and literally, up against the wall.
Oh! Oh!
This could be big for MK Dave. Answering back. Now, no takedown will be sufficient. No control time will be sufficient.
Oh, and that's
massive.
That is. Because I think that levels Goat out with him.
And MK Dave probably just needs to survive.
I think he needs another knockdown.
Nice. Gets a stun. Oh, out of gas. 30 seconds.
Point to the floor. Point to the floor.
Oh, I thought he was going to get rocked the slip elbow. How did it not land?
The legs weren't long enough. No, I'm just
Imagine he
kidding.
points to the floor and gets like stuck in the taunt.
Oh!
Oh!
Point to the floor now. Wait, you got a second left. And it probably will be a win for MK Dave. No!
No.
Bully
Goes to
wins!
Goat. Goes to Goat. Damn, bro.
That went to Goat?
Yeah, that went to Goat.
I mean, I did say it, right? The judges.
Pull up that scorecard.
The judges, you know? Like,
Was it split?
Round 2. That's why. 10-9, 10-9, 10-9. Yep.
wow.
I don't
man.
think he won both. I didn't think
He
won
didn't
both.
win round 2. Like, in my opinion, I'm sorry. Like, he didn't win round 2, but like that's wild, bro. That is wild.
Wow.
Wow. For my money, though, Fire the Night right there. Like, so
Yeah.
far, that was an incredible fight. Back and forth action across both guys should be proud of their performance there this evening. Whether or not you agree or disagree with the result, ultimately, these guys went to war for a full 15 minutes, put it all on the line. And I'm the GOAT, getting blessed by the EA gods here this evening, in my humble opinion. So that is that. With that one in the books, though, Jakey, we move upwards and onwards to the next segment of this, the last fight on the left-hand side of the bracket. EK Warrior up against Dex Premacy, another two names that are very highly touted for this entire tournament. Obviously, we expect big things from these competitors right here.
Well, what I will say, guys, as you see, the quarterfinals are filling up, and as the quarterfinals progress, there will be stipulations where you can only use an alter ego. So the quarterfinals are Charles Oliveira alter ego taking on his name, Michael Chandler, and the semi-finals will be, I believe, Rampage Jackson against Dan Henderson, Rampage alter ego, and then the finals will be Jorge Masvidal alter ego taking on Ben Askren. So the finals will be a Jorge Masvidal versus a Ben Askren. Yep. So some phenomenal fights. But yeah, EK Warrior versus Dex Premacy, two absolute killers. We did see Dex Premacy a little bit vulnerable against Webcam, but we'll look to make that right as he takes on Warrior here in a best of one. And it will be a phenomenal fight to see who will be taking on I'm the GOAT and that phenomenal wrestling style that he has brought to this tournament. And yeah, as they start to progress, looking, you know, we're burning through it quite fast. Seeing the quarterfinals, semi-finals all looking like they're about to be lined up very soon. Some big fights to come, and yeah, this one banger again, coin flip.
I completely agree with you. And just on the stipulations that we have from the quarterfinals onwards, just to point out that they are all best of 3, which means that each guy will get one to fight on either side of whether you're using Charlie or Michael Chandler, and then of course the third one is your choice between the two picks. So there's a lot to be had, very evened out, very even playing field, and it's a very interesting twist that we have here for the community event this year.
And also to take time to shout out Snack King for the raid for prime time.
Snack King, absolutely check that guy out. He's one of my favorites, guy. Always check this guy out on Twitch. Hilarious, man. Variety streamer. Make sure to check out Snack King. All love, man. All love.
So Leon Edwards mirror match to get us underway here. A minute in between Dex Premacy and Warrior. A little bit of a rivalry between these two. Dex Premacy usually coming off the better of these two from what I've watched in recent months of matching, but obviously EK Warrior can beat anyone on his day as well. Brilliant fighter, absolute veteran is Warrior, taking on the new kid on the block. That is Dex Premacy. Bit of a ping, good, nice, stable ping for these two guys. Should be fun, but you know, we didn't see Dex Premacy looking, obviously he did end up dominating the fight, but first round took a while to get going. Can't really afford to do that against someone like EK Warrior because they will end up running away with the fight. So yeah, but a lot of better stuff for Dex ripping the body. Nice.
Absolutely. And for those that may not know, my granny's kid, aka the blue corner, is Dex Premacy, and EK Warrior is in the red corner, of course. Very hard to distinguish between them, considering they have equal shorts, or the exact same shorts. That's red corner, blue corner. It's the way to judge it right now. Nice head kick from Dex. EK Warrior is a tricky customer though, man. Like he's a guy that you have to really kind of mind all of your P's and Q's with, otherwise he will find an opening to take you out of the competition early. Dex knows this and is trying to be measured in his approach. The one thing I will say about Dex Premacy out here, Slay, is as you saw in his last matchup, when he starts to get a lead, his confidence starts oozing, and he is absolutely going to start trying to take the mickey out here a little bit and embarrass. He's not just happy with wins; he tries to embarrass his opponents every time he's in the cage.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said last time, man, you don't play with your food. And when you're going up against someone like EK Warrior, you definitely don't want to play around, even if you got the upper hand, because it could all change in just a moment, an instant, or whatever. So if I were him, I would take his opponent seriously from this point out, because, I mean, $1,500 is a lot of money, and you don't want to play around when it comes to people who are capable of turning it just like that.
Yep, a lot of cash on the line this evening for these guys. First place, second place, and third place prizes all up for grabs, as well as a bonus for the fight of the night. Not too many like mental fights this evening, so definitely still up for grabs. Still some brilliant fights, but I've seen a lot of one-sided fights to be thinking. I think maybe even that GOAT fight, that last fight, was probably my fight of the night so far. Even though it ended up in a robbery.
Well, you couldn't be more right. You're 100%, bro, 100%. Finally, like, even though the judges may have well and truly well and truly dogged one of the guys, you know, like, but that's what we said, man. Don't leave it to the judges' decision. Ultimately, they are the most consistent part of the game, just in how wildly inconsistent they are. But that is why these guys right now, I would imagine, have an extra fire lit up underneath them to try and get the victory here this evening and try to do it in a bit of an emphatic fashion. You can already see, Slay, the damage above and around that left eye of Dex Premacy. He has a long way to go to win or lose this fight, but you can see that these guys slowly and surely starting to increase the amount of output that we are getting from them here.
Yeah, and I haven't seen EK Warriors fight too much, but I mean, by the looks of it, he's capable of making adjustments just as quickly as Dex has been. Ooh, except for that body, took quite the uppercut.
And rips the body. And so far, so good for Dex Premacy, looking phenomenal again, as he did in the previous round of matches. The pressure coming down the straight, or Warrior trying to bounce this one back in his favour, but not looking too promising at this moment in time. But like Sarah's, like you said, still a long way to go in this matchup, as we do see a big cut and a big gush on the eye. But very interesting that we don't have the doctor sign for that cut, because it's a pretty big one. Catch of the leg, goes for the takedown, doesn't get it, whiffs the kick. Not having Roger and Jay on this card is crazy. Sign up's alive, bro. Oh, you on about on the comps? Yeah, here. Yeah, that was crazy. And another big body rock. Drops him down.
Oh wow.
Oh my god.
Dex really starting to pull away with it. Flying knee almost lands, partially blocked. EK Warrior in a world of hurt right now. And like I said a little bit earlier out here, when he hurts you, he's not just looking to then quickly get the finish. He's looking to make a bit of a point on you. He wants to finish you so badly that every time you fight him from then on, it's playing in the back of your mind and what Dex Premacy does to people. He's trying to victimize opponents out here. That's what it feels like. Another rock. Oh, another land.
Oh my
Damn.
god. Gosh. And so fast. Yeah, spectacular performance from Dex Premacy. And it's kind of sad, really, Cyrus, as you see. He said he's stepping away from the community after this, win or lose. Say if he wins, then maybe it will spark a fire in his belly. But, you know, we're going to miss a good competitor here in Dex Premacy, because not anyone can do this to EK Warrior. Can pass this to side control.
Nice.
And a reversal at the end of the round.
I mean, look, this is getting more and more interesting. I mean, like, Dex has just had an incredible round, but we mentioned it at the beginning, just the absolute kind of trickery that EK Warrior can really pull off in this cage, Slay, is, you know, it's one of those things where he's not out until he's literally out on that canvas. So Dex Premacy has to be careful, whereas some opponents he may have got a little bit confident. He plays with his food, as you know, as you said. Can't really be affording to do that against somebody like Warrior. So he's going to have to continue to really stay diligent in the way that he's attacking right now and not let up on the advantage that he's had over Warrior at this point.
Yeah, 100%. But I mean, as of right now, like, EK is feeling the pain. He's already got his health events on. His body's less than half, and his head is just about there. And I mean, yeah.
Nice.
I'm pretty sure Dex is in the clear on this.
I thought he was controller that then. I thought he was about to kill him. It was just still. I thought he was about to kill him. That would have been hilarious. Knee to the body, and yeah, it's not looking good for Warrior. Big clinch, hurting him again, and it's just not looking
nice. Oh my goodness. Is that all she wrote? He goes for the armbar instead, bro. This guy, like I said, he wants to victimize you. He's not just looking to get his hand raised. He wants to prove points. One more submission and it's done with 3 minutes 20 on the clock. He needs to, I mean, this is like a pick your poison sort of moment. Warrior may be getting subbed or he may be getting knocked out very, very quickly. So this is hard, man. This is very hard.
Yeah, tough to watch. I'd agree. It's one of them where Dex Premacy is in a position where he feels like he's going to play with his food. But as the tournament progresses, we're going to see him in more vulnerable positions, I believe. So maybe just make it enjoying it while he can. You know, he could very well do this all the way into the final. If he could, then hats off to him. Imagine he's doing all this tournament with Ben Askren. Would be quite funny to watch. But you see there another drop, and yeah, Warrior just on a case.
Yeah.
Of how long?
It's only a matter of time at this point.
Oh, right.
Dang, bro, that uppercut.
Oh, look, he gives him the little old little bobble about once again, just adding, adding insult to injury, man. Adding insult to injury. Jeez. Absolutely on something else. Dex Premacy, built different, it would appear, gets another big victory here this evening. This so with a little bit less adversity. He seemed to be in the driving seat for a lot of that fight, and this time did not let up. Obviously still fighting with the confidence that we have come to expect from him. He got 7 body health events in that one, 5 knockdowns and 2 stuns or wobbles. The best performance of Dex Primacy's evening so far, for sure, and does so in the second round of the knockout stages. That does mean that he books himself an opportunity in the quarterfinals, which is a big thing now, of course, as he gets one step closer to that prize money at the end here this evening. Incredible scenes so far. Dex Premacy, you'll see he will be fighting I'm the GOAT in that next stage, first leg of the quarterfinals. But we will now, Jakey, be moving on to the next, or the right-hand side of the bracket, I should say. Okay, so yeah, what we're going to do is we are going to be getting a quick report of that. That is Grizz up against Maxi, who did, like I say, make a rare appearance and is ready and raring to go. So we are going to flip across to them now. We have lightweight. That is the weight class. It looks like we are seeing Islam Makhachev up against Conor McGregor. Now that will be a fun old fight, to say the least. I'm not going to waste any time. Let's get into it, my man.
Going to be very interested to see. So we do see Drizz picking up the Conor McGregor against what remains of Maxi, Islam Makhachev, and with that Conor McGregor power and the ability of Drizz after this fight, the doctors might be picking up what remains of Maxi from the cage floor. But you never know. That Islam Makhachev has some very dominant grappling, some very good submissions. Or we see a change to the Max Holloway pick. Maybe it is just that takedown defense of Conor McGregor. So we do see the change there of picks, which is very interesting for Drizz season. Picking up the Max Holloway pick. Yeah, but very fun fight. You know, if Maxi can get this one to the ground and really grind Drizz down, it's going to be interesting. But you know, after watching that first performance from Drizz season, you know, Maxi weren't actually here, so hopefully he didn't watch it.
I thought it made him disappear, Slay. That's what I thought, but I was wrong. Oh my!
I was gonna say I can definitely speak up on Maxi because Maxi does have quality kickboxing, but most people don't know that he actually started out as a grappler. So I mean, he does know the ground just as much as he knows kickboxing, and I've noticed from with his kickboxing, he's actually very a technical kickboxer. Like he does very well placing it between, you know, body shots, leg shots, up on the head sometimes. So I mean, he can keep you guessing just as much as anybody else. I'm just not sure on compared to Trixie because I mean Drizzy, he's definitely shown something I've never seen before.
Look, they say it's Drizz season. It is a Drizz world out here. I'm telling you that this man is a problem in every single which way. Maxi is a guy that I really like watching fight. He's got a fun and entertaining style, able to do it no matter where it goes. Like you say, heavy kickboxing style, part of that B3 camp, and can grapple. The problem is that there are levels, and right now we're about to find out whether or not Maxi is on that level. Can he rise to the occasion here this evening? A difficult start for him, Jakey, but once again, no task is too tall when you're standing from that B3 corner and you can punch that block off.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Go ahead, Jakey.
Yeah, difficult start for him so far. For Maxi, but he's looking all right. He's throwing some good stuff. Nice teeth there. He's landing some nice hooks. The head health gap getting a little bit bigger. But he's showing some nice kickboxing. Like Slave was saying, he's definitely comfortable on the feet. And then you see a big combination rips and a big hook lands. He's doing well, but I feel like Drizz, it's just that start. You know, Drizz starts so fast. If you let him get that big advantage, it could be tough to claw your way back. What do you think, Smith?
I was gonna say, Maxi actually fought Fadenator. What was it, when we did a tough event with MFL? So they were actually toe to toe for the most part. I don't know like the levels in which Fadinator actually improved since then, but I do know that they actually stood toe to toe for a good bit, even though Fadinator was, the person that was voted to kind of take that away. So, I mean, I know as far as levels go, Maxi's up there. As far as whether or not it's, compared to how Fadinator and Drizz is now, that's a different story. But I do know that, Maxi is just not one to be looked over, I guess, is the best way of putting it.
Yeah, definitely not. You can't ever count any one of these guys out. Drizz does have a massive advantage so far in this first round, big first round for Drizz season. And I think it's just one of them, sometimes you get caught a little bit cold. I feel like Islam, he has great striking numbers, like the stats wise, but it's the combos that he can put together and the speed that they output at. Max Holloway, just a big advantage there. Interested to see him not try and test the ground game of Drizz season, maybe get a little takedown. But yeah, it's very good first round for Drizz. But yeah, he did all the fundamental things right. You do see their big stat advantage for Drizz season, headed into this second round, a touch of gloves.
Absolutely. Look, the thing is, Jakey, is that Drizz is a really fast starter. Some people struggle to start fast, but not Drizz. This man will put the leather on you. He doesn't need a feeling out process. He knows where you are. He knows where he needs to put those punches and kicks, and he will find a home for them almost 100% of the time. It always just comes down to the opponent. Can they answer back from the early adversity? Can they swim when the water is deepest? And Maxi has that dog in him. He's not going to give up. He's going to find that opening if he can. It's about whether or not he can get there as Drizz just continues the onslaught that he continues to put out.
Yeah, and he's landed some good shots in this second round so far. And there we can see a clinch attempt, does go for the takedown, doesn't get it out, and another big rock from Drizz, and a big drop again from Drizz. He was doing so well up until that point. And then a big straight, rips the body, triples to it, and this could be all she wrote. And this drops into the knee on belly.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
It's all over. Good season.
Herb Dean gracefully jumps in and saves him from himself. Too tough for his own good is Maxi. Just took a beating out here this evening, and look, there's no shame in it. Some people are just like levels above. I've been there. We've all been there, and I'm telling you, if you ever fight Drizz, you will find out that there are definitely levels to this game. He's just too damn good, man. He's too damn good. I rate this guy incredibly highly, if you can't tell, and he continues to prove us right with the way that he goes out there and handles business once again, stepping forward into the next stage. Drizz punching a ticket into the quarterfinals. Incredible work, incredible fight for Drizz especially. Fair play to Maxi turning up, when he did, but as I said, it was almost one-way traffic at a certain point. Just too much damage. 5 stuns, 1 body health event, and 4 knockdowns for Drizz. Incredible amount. Of work done. Just the guy is phenomenal. With that being said, second fight, right-hand side of the bracket. And Slay, this one will be a very interesting one, as Jakey alluded to a little bit earlier on. These two guys right now, there's a lot of history between the two of them. A lot of history between Trixie and Suave Jamie. They have matched up each other a number of times across promotions, from money tournaments to league matches and everything in between. Very, very much have been neck and neck in terms of a lot of their competitive performances in the past. Different trajectories as of recent in terms of where they've been at and where they've been competing, but old foes once again managed to go head to head, and this time there's money on the line once again.
Oh, I'm excited for this one, Cyrus. I tell you, Tricky Swift's taking on Suave Jamie, old foes meet again I believe these guys played each other at ESFL Vegas. They've just played about everywhere, really. Any sort of community collaboration tournament, you'll see these guys, both of their names there, contested at middleweight, I believe. So we are here. It's going to be very, very, very interesting to see how this one pans out. We've seen Jamie take a bunch of wins. We've seen Trixie take a bunch of wins. And, buzzing for this one. Great scrap.
Is this going to be a DDP pick from Suave Jamie?
Interesting to see.
That would be surprising.
Yeah, it would be very surprising. Maybe sort of contemplating it as we look. Will it be DDP? No, he does opt for Whitaker. Okay, alter ego Rob Whitaker taking on Alex Pereira. And yeah, that's an interesting pick as well against this big power hitter that is Alex P. And yeah, scrap in, boys.
Yeah, 100%. In their own rights, placed at different points. These guys may have made it down to those into the later stages, but they're gonna have to battle it out now in these knockout round 2. Like I said, it's hard, man, when there's so many big names in this tournament. There's no easy fights, my man. There's no easy fights, especially as you make past the first stage. It's difficult enough to qualify for this thing, but then to get to the second stage, hard enough. To make it all the way to the finals just speaks volumes to the levels that you have above competition. Only one guy can move on to the next stage. We're about to find out who that will be. Will it be Robert Whitaker on the side of Suave Jamie, or can Alex Pereira, Poatan himself, Swift Trixie, dial back the clock one more time, Slay, to get a big victory here this evening?
Yeah, I mean, Trixie's coming off of a bye, so I mean, hopefully he took the time to get a warm up in there just so he can make this fight the way pretty much just go about it the way he wants to. Now, as far as what you guys have said about Suave Jamie, I mean, I don't know much about Trixie, but from what I've seen from Suave, I mean, he's got his hands full for sure.
I will put this out there for you. You may not know too much about Trixie. The good news is, I most certainly do. This man is probably my most favourite fighter on, this game period. He has had a bit of a rougher time as of recent. I think, people just kind of maybe caught up. But this guy, once upon a time in UFC 4, went, I can't remember the exact record, but I think it was like a 25 fight win streak. Was, champion for like 19 or 20 of those fights. He is absolutely incredible and has gone down in the history books as the UFC 4 GOAT, period. Now, UFC 5 has had a lot of top performances and is looking to try and dial back the clock and get some of that former glory, but he's still as dangerous as he ever has been. It's just I feel like the levels on UFC 5 have all been stepped up from every competitor, Jakey. Everybody's raised their game, and it's because of the work of people like Trixie and Suave Jamie that has been put in over the years on why people had to elevate their game to that level.
Yeah, definitely. Back in the day, BFAT brother in arms, you say one of the favourite compares. Definitely one of my favourite people in the community as well. Such a nice guy. But yeah, I remember being in a camp with Trixie. We used to both be in built for ankle picking, BFAT brothers in arms. And, I kind of watched that whole primetime MMA run where he did crown himself the primetime MMA GOAT at the time. Really spectacular, some brilliant performances. But you see that big rock and big spear from Jamie. You see this against Winter. And once you get you in this position, it's still very tough to recover.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Side control was bad enough. Side saddle, even slightly worse. He does manage to get out of it, though, surprisingly enough. And now in this back-sitting position. But Slay, with only 20 seconds left to go, not too concerning at this stage, but an interesting first round. One that Suave Jamie definitely has put himself ahead with that big stun and a double leg from hell.
Man, I don't know. Right now I'm still kind of 50-50 because, I mean, Alex has power behind his hands, and I know Rob has somewhat of a chin, but not much when it comes to power. I mean, really, I think all it's going to take is literally one counter punch, and the game will change for Trixie, or for Suave. So, I mean, Alex is hurt pretty bad. They both have health events now. Alex's head is literally almost half, so I mean, it can still go either way at this point because I mean, Stam is still good.
Yeah, look at that though.
And Commentator's curse right there.
always the way, my man. Always the way. The one thing I will say is that Robbie, for my money, he has like some real pop on those punches. Now, obviously, maybe not the same kind of death touch that, you know, Poatan is able to channel through the spirits that he does, but he literally is touching him up with some of those strikes right now. And Trixie has actually outlanded him in terms of total strikes. I think the Suave Jamie is just getting the better time of those strikes for the most part until there, right? Obviously, that right there. And as a result is getting a larger damage output as a result. Keeps catching him as he's trying to slip or pull. But then again, Jakey, he's up against the cage again. But that's when he does his best work.
And a big drop from Tricky Swifts. Sits him straight back down. Needed that to answer back from all of this forward pressure from Suave Jamie. Like you say, outlanding Suave Jamie, but not having the health events to go with it. He does get one there. Big drop against the cage. And, you know, both of these guys very dominant on the ground. But Trixie does opt to stand up, not take that full damage. Maybe feels like he needs to put a little bit more of a hurting on Suave Jamie here. He is really chasing him down, really trying to get that health back level. And a big uppercut lands, and I'm just in awe right now. Like, I don't even want to say, like, I'm just on my screen, like, looking at these two, because it's actually a crazy matchup that we get these so early in the card, in the tournament, sorry, should I say. But yeah, so far, great fight for both gentlemen. I'm really enjoying watching this one.
Well, you're absolutely right. It is mad that we get them at this stage, but it speaks to the depth of the competition here on the UFC 5 community event. Once again, Suave Jamie able to hit him with the right-hand double leg and straight into top mount this time. Slay, we'll have to see if he's able to get some damage off whilst in the grounded position, this time with a lot more time to work.
Yeah, a lot more time to work here for Suave Jamie. We do see that Trixie does manage to pop himself out, so we can maybe thank Ping for that, because normal MS, very tough to get out of Suave Jamie's mount, but he does have it again. Very nice denial that is from Trixie. We'll go left this time, but there is the denials. This is where they start coming. This could be very dangerous. Leading with a straight. I've seen a lot of guys lead with a straight, and this could be over. This could be over.
Nice.
Reposture. Maybe not the best idea. Nice denials from Tricky Swifts. Trying to survive.
Well, he's on
very
it.
good denials.
He's on it, bro. Like, he's trying. He wants to make it to that next round. He's got 15 seconds.
Very nice denials. Beautiful denials from Tricky Swifts. Not given an inch, but one more posture, and he does get the rock and will secure the round. Still though, very curious on the first round. First round for me, still very close.
Yeah,
but that round, 12 James.
I agree. Like, he got top control time and he got a stun, but he was outlanded with 6 and total strikes. So I don't know which way the judges go with that. And we've already seen one crazy decision here this evening. So I don't even want to think what the judges are what the judges are thinking, because well, I think it would lower my IQ. But you know, as a whole, they're unpredictable, Slay, as you well know, my man. So finishes galore. We go to the third and final round in this matchup. Oh, there can only be one making it through to that quarterfinals. Who will it be? We'll about to see.
Touch of gloves between these two veterans, and there's a big stun off the rip for Suave. Going to put the pressure down the straight. I believe he does have the slight advantage, but there is no sort of advantage when you have that power of Alex Pereira. But yeah, pushing down. Needs to bite down on the mouthpiece, does Tricky Swifts, and try and take Jamie's head off, because Jamie is... Oh, what a big stun!
Bink, bink.
Nice denial from Tricky Swifts. This is what he needs. He needs to stay on the feet, and he needs to minimum win this round if he can't knock Jamie out. But both of these fighters just know what's on the line, and you know they've been in this situation before, and it's a game of inches, really. Sorry.
Absolutely, the narrowest of margins for success or failure in this sort of thing. MMA is a cruel mistress. She can treat you so well when you're winning, but it can be real bad when you're losing. And as I say that, he secures a takedown this time, Slay, with 3 minutes left to work. I mean, every time he takes him down, there's a little bit more time on that clock, and it gets a little bit more difficult to get back to your feet.
Yeah, but Trixie's still doing a pretty good job of making those denials. I mean, last round he only had, like 2 of them before he took some damage, so...
And then working back to full guard is Tricky Swifts. Does stand up. Oh, the big rock. Oh, he spears him back. Jesus Christ. Tricky Swift spears him back. Needs to... I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know who's winning, chat. I don't know if Tricky needs to stand up. I don't know if this is the right play.
Oh, back flat!
Flattens him out. Oh, no. Oh, that's beautiful. That's brilliant defense.
I was going to say, the most clutch defense I've seen in this tournament so far right there. Like, that is one of the most dangerous positions to be in.
Tricky Swift's opted for all the same side, and Suave Jamie opts to defend the whole same side. Very, 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 very fine margins, but still very close. It will boil probably down to that first round. I'm not too sure.
I think they gave the first round to Suave.
Oh, and a reversal with 50 left.
There seems to be a lot of people saying 2-0 Suave Jamie so far. And now he's got top man with 30 seconds. He may not need the judges.
But he's still, yeah, he has top mount here with the last 20 seconds. And if he can just get a few strikes off, it might sway him at the end of the round. But nice to know. Jamie stands up. Maybe he feels like he's down.
I think...
He feels like he's down.
Oh my god! Oh my god, can you imagine that was out just right there? Could you imagine, bro?
12 wins.
Yeah, 12 wins, 12 wins. Like, that was a crazy fight. Incredible, incredible stuff.
Wow, great fight. Probably my fight of the night so far.
Yeah, no, that was beautiful. That was incredible scenes, man. Those guys really went to at it. A technical masterclass with virtual violence, highlighted at its absolute highest. Incredible work on both sides of the equation, but Suave Jamie just too much here this evening, able to get the job done and showcase why he is one of the most feared men on that Xbox division. With that being said, guys, it's heating up. It's getting closer and closer. We're taking steps towards that quarterfinals. We have Easy Work up against Spooky next on the roster, and then we'll be moving on to Mixups up against Naz Nim for the final fight before we move on to those quarterfinals. So without further ado, we have a little look forward. Obviously, you'll see that Suave Jamie is about to advance onto that next stage. Easy Work GG up against Spooky, as mentioned. EK Mixups up against Naz Nim. A full host of absolutely sensational fighters still left to go here this evening. And the winners of these matches will be booking themselves, as mentioned, a spot in the quarterfinals, the semi-finals, or the finals, depending on how those matchups then go. But, of course, it's out of the frying pan into the fire as every one of these fights get more and more difficult as we get step by step closer towards that prize money. We're not going to waste any more time, and Slay, the time is now. Easy Work GG, the striking absolute master, as we saw in his last time out, going up against the grappling phenom of Spooky G.
Oh, I'm excited, Cyrus. I'm in a buzz for this one. Spooky taking on Easy Work GG, my favourite fighter, versus the grappling menace we just see in the last round. Going to be an absolute carnage one. This is just Marab versus Sean O'Malley. And
didn't Easy go O'Malley last time too?
I think he went Connor, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, Connor.
Yeah, but he's always going to pick that guy, you know. He's always going to pick the striker of that weight class, and he's going to get those hands going. Everything I said about his striking with Connor is also true about his striking with Sugar Sean O'Malley. This is just all about, can he stop that takedown? If he can't stop that takedown, it's going to be quick work. Even though Spooky's made improvements on his hands, I'm telling you, Easy, he's slick with it, man. He's real slick with the way that he approaches the striking game.
It's one of them, and you see already Spooky coming out. He's looking for the takedown. He wants it early, wants it nice and early, but Easy Work knows it's coming, and there you go. This is a different kettle of fish. Takedown defense is there for Easy Work GG. And already the nice to know, but we already know that's not going to be the start. But Easy Work GG switching it up.
So, oh, you want to grapple, kid? And he's taking him down.
Maybe not the best. Maybe not the best.
Don't disagree.
This is where Spooky wanted the fight. But you never know. Easy Work GG, absolute elite fighter.
I'm going to say, and I'm pretty sure Spooky's even better on his back.
And already, if I'm Easy Work, I'm powering posture and getting out.
I'm just going to put this out there. Prediction of channel points here at Prime Time. Easy Work GG, 37,000 points bet on him against the 5,800 on Spooky. So look, whoever's betting on Spooky, You may earn a lot of cheddar here this evening if he's able to upset the masses, it would appear. He's got himself in a top control position with 2 minutes 30 left to go on the clock. That's a lot of time for this man to get working.
Yeah, this is what he wanted, right? He wanted this takedown. He needed this takedown because you kind of just target practice standing in there in front of Easy Work GG. He does get a takedown, manages to pass guard. Very interesting. Nice denial, though. Will we see he postures up, gets side control? And he does. That's nice. That's good for him. And yeah, this is where the fight is told. You know, we're seeing Easy Work power a little bit already. We're seeing that stamina drop, which is making it a little bit easier for Spooky to get them takedowns and stuff. But, you know, another posture, working the body, working that stamina nice and low. And, you know, real dark horse Spooky could be if he gets past Easy Work GG here.
Nice. Spooky gliding through these positions, slicing through that guard like a knife through butter. Now finds himself in a pretty dominant position as he goes into the back sitting. Slate, obviously with a minute left to work, probably not going to get a finish, but he can definitely start to attack that, you know, kind of bar of submission. Unfortunately, you know, he's going to need a couple of them. It's not, but that bar of submission, he can attack that, and maybe get some ground and pound going.
I was going to say it. I'm pretty sure he's working on his control time too.
Absolutely. But damage wins fights, my man. Damage definitely wins fights. Back to the feet. Takes him down. Very nice work. Spooky committed to the game plan here this evening. And am I incorrect in saying this, Jakey? This was all kind of off Easy Work taking him down.
Yeah. No.
Did he get back up and then he took him down?
Yeah, he got back up. He took him back up. Yeah, so Easy Work did power posture, stood back up, and then it was a quick single, I believe, or something called the assault, turned the other way from Spooky, which was a really nice takedown. It was a good takedown. Easy Work defended some few early. But, you know, still a close round. There was a bit of control time, but Easy Work was landing some good shots, and Spooky didn't do too much on the ground. Just sort of rabbit punches and control times. We see, like, them high vulnerable shots that Easy Work was landing on the body, on the pull, as we see there on the first highlight. You know, so still a very close round. We do see there another takedown denied from Easy Work, which is good. And it was things like that. He landed a lot of them knees, and they could score a little bit more than that damage.
Absolutely. Obviously, so much time to work, and Easy Work now is aware of what it's like to be under Spooky G with time to work. It's a smothering sort of feel. Oh my goodness! This time with 4 minutes, Slay. 4 minutes left on the clock. That's going to be horrible if you're on the side of Spooky. Sorry, I mean Easy.
Then we do see mount from Spooky and a posture, and this could be damage. Oh, and it is. It's a big elbow and an arm triangle. And he seems well versed in this, knows what he's doing.
Don't mess with Spooky G, man. Not on the ground.
And that's a killer.
Absolutely. Spooky has always been a problem in this domain.
And it's not looking good for Easy Work GG. A bit of a rough start, some nice takedowns denied. And the back flat comes.
Absolutely terrifying position if you're Easy Work. I would always opt to roll across into top mount, otherwise this happens. I mean, to be fair though, Spooky is just taking his time with it, like not rushing this position at all. A lot of people just kind of posture up and go ham with it, but not Spooky, man. He's wanting to keep that stamina high so that he can continue a calculated onslaught of damage.
And a nice denial from Easy Work to stop the choke getting sunk in, but we will see the choke here, and
it's done.
It's probably Easy Work, GG.
Easy Work for Spooky G here this evening.
And a brilliant performance, Cyrus, and I think you're looking at dark horses of someone that's going to cause Drizz, Fadinator, Suave, Jamie some problems if he can get through his next opponent. You'll be looking at the winner.
Yeah, he is definitely a top level threat, and he can cause problems for absolutely anybody that he's up against. You know, to be real with you, we haven't seen him fight on the PS side. This is not too much of a surprise. And look at that, 42.8 thousand going to AO Pudgy, one of the OGs, making a pick here this evening and getting it right. with his bet on the one and only Spooky G. Incredible. Does that mean he's out? That does mean he's out, brother. It's an elimination stage, so that's correct. He just lost his fights. Spooky G on to the next stage. Fun one. Like I said, that was a throwback fight. Striker beat Grappler, and this time the Grappler came out on top here this evening. And like I said, when he was able to get into the striking kind of engagements, was just all him, really. You know, it's not like Easywick isn't good in those positions, it's just that Spooky is on a different level when it comes to the grappling exchanges. He is an absolute problem. It's where his bread is buttered. Do not grapple with that man, or do so at your own peril. We do, however, now, I will say, move on there, Jake and Slate, to the very last fight of our portion of this stream. And that is going to be between the one and only EK Mixups, so as he's now known, EK Cicero, up against Naz Nim. Do you say Naz Nim is part B3? Is that what you said?
No, I think
FSK. Oh, sorry, FSK. So Naz Nim part of the FSK. So we have an EK v FSK matchup right here. Mix-up, Naz Nim. Two guys very much at the top of their game. And they're going to put it all on the line, as many have before them, for their opportunity at that prize pool. Only one can reign supreme here this evening. Time to punch their ticket through to that final stage. And it is in featherweight Slay, and it appears, they could change it, it appears that we're going to get a Conor McGregor v Conor McGregor matchup.
Yeah, very interesting matchup. I did see this one, Naz Nim versus Mixups back in the NEC early days. And Mixups did actually take that one, I believe, but it was an absolute banger of a fight. So it's going to be interesting between these two. Looking forward to it. Should be good. It seems a bit dark for some reason. The screen looks a bit duller. Does anyone else see that?
I think that's their stream.
Yeah, so this one happening at night time. But Mixups versus Xco Daddy, aka Naz Nim 27, EK versus FSK. But yeah, absolute banger of a fight, very close. This probably will go to whoever pulls ahead first, and so far Mixups looking like he's doing a very good job.
I'm telling you, man, Mixups on a different game with his striking these days. People used to think of him as like, what do you used to call him? Was it clinch-ups? You used to call him clinch-ups, and like people used to people used to complain about some of the ways that he'd mix in the grappling. You know, the name Mix-Ups was because he'd throw a couple punches and he'd shoot up those legs, and that would be him mixing it up. But he was a grappler through and through. His hands these days, very, very much massively improved.
Looking phenomenal. Yeah.
Good test for him though. Naz Nim, you know, pretty silky smooth with the way that his striking game goes.
Yeah, you know, he's in FSK, he's with Fadinator, he's with Trixie, and you know, he's with all them guys. So like I say, to be with them sort of guys, you have to be at that sort of level. So obviously at a very high level is Naz Nim. Mixups might be one of the most improved in the whole community. You know, he used to, he did like, he might not forgive me for saying this, but he did used to be a little bit of a laughing stock. You know, he wouldn't really mix in the striking that much. He would just sort of clinch you, and then like just shoot and wet blanket you. And now what we're seeing from him is absolutely phenomenal. You know, he played in NEC season 2, I believe, and he was just very dominant. And there we see big drop against Cage and Naz Nim. And yeah, in the whole community, definitely one of the most improved and serious competitor. I believe he also beat Fadinator for the Prime Fan belt.
Oh my god, he did, brother. I was about to bring that point up. Yeah, no, like he was a guy that people used to call him, like Roger and Jay on the streams always used to refer to him as the gatekeeper of the Xbox division. You had to beat Mixups to get a chance at the opportunity of a belt. But then all of a sudden, he had his, like, I don't know, 8th matchup with Fadinator. He got the job done. And he looked like a different man, much like he did here this evening. His striking on another level. His grappling still up there. And he makes easy work of another opponent to book his opportunity in the quarterfinals as he chucks out some of that cash with Conor McGregor walking about there. This guy is a problem. And talk about dark horses, most improved of last year. Mixups is that guy. He fits the bill. He matches the description, Slay. And once again, he shows up here this evening and showcases what he's all about. Absolutely sensational from that man right there. And obviously, he still has a road to go, but what a run out over the first couple of opening matches that he's had to book himself that opportunity in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, massive performance from Mixups there. You know, like I say, one of the most improved, and doing that to Naz Nim, no easy task. You know, Naz Nim is a killer. But he does book his place in the next round in the quarterfinals, and he's taken on Spooky. And if someone can deal with that relentless grappling, it will be someone like Mixups. So, you know, absolutely phenomenal performance and well deserved from him.
Absolutely. Well, look, lads. Obviously, myself here at Primetime MMA, Jakey from NEC, and of course the one and only Slade from GFC. It has been a pleasure calling these fights so far, but do not go anywhere. We still have the second leg of this tournament still to go. As you have a little look there, an incredible lineup. We're going to have Fadnator up against Dirty Dave. I'm the GOAT v Dex Premacy, Drizz v Suave Jamie, and Spooky G up against EK Mixups, aka EK Cicero. An absolute who's who at the top of the Xbox division. You do not want to miss this. We're going to hit a small intermission page, and we're going to make sure to share everybody's links so that you can follow NEC, you can follow GFC, and if you're not already, make sure to follow Primetime MMA, and of course ESFL. We will be pushing a raid forward to ESFL in a moment. Other than that, for myself, much love. We will see you on the other side of this. If there's anything you guys want to say, by all means, shoot.
Yeah, so a big shout out to all the community for coming together. Big next round, obviously, will be the alter ego round, so they will all be best of three. So we will see Charlie Olives taking on Michael Chandler. So one will use Michael, one will use Charles, and then they will alternate in a best of three. And then the semi-finals will be alter ego Rampage Jackson against normal Dan Henderson. Then they will rotate there, and then the finals will be Jorge Masvidal versus Ben Askren. In the finals best of three. So a big shout out to ESFL Primetime and the GFC. Big shout out to Nugs AU for sponsoring the second place prize as well. They are building a sustainable economy for gamers, so check them out at nugsau.com to see where you fit in with them. Yeah, and obviously big love from the NEC, and we will see you next season with season 4 to give away some more mega prizes. But yeah, that's all from me, Jakey V. It's been fun and big love.
Also, keep in mind, guys, on these quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals, it's going to be first round, you guys get your alter egos, and then the second round, you guys are going to switch. If you guys happen to win 1-1, the third one will be the mirror match of one of the alter egos. What is it, the better of the two?
Yeah, so basically,
it'll be
use one on one, second on the other, they switch it, and then the third one you can use whoever you want.
Correct. So just kind of keep that in mind. You guys can mirror match on the third round, except for in the finals. I think you got 5 rounds to do that, so it's just a best of 3 out of that.
Right, so with that all booked in, guys, absolute pleasure once again. Like I said, make sure to follow everybody involved. A lot of work was put in behind the scenes between everybody involved to get this show running. Shout out to all of the guys in the background putting together all of the work that made this as seamless as it was. And of course, thank you to you, the competitors, who have turned up and shown out so far here this evening. And we know that that's going to continue. So join the raid, see these guys battle it out. There can only be one making it through to those finals and winning this entire thing.